The truth is so hard to find. With all the things that's going on, I lost track, I felt so strong. I got you on my mind, but something's been done wrong. Sometimes I've been thinking of what to make of me and my memories. Sometimes I've been thinking of, dreaming of what it could have been besides memories. 'Cause I stay in memories. 'Cause I stay in Cause I stay that you want me to. Just let me into your heart. Let me into your heart. Just let me into your heart. Let me into your heart.
Inside lane, missing exits. I'm glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. It's time to break away. Forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. Cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Hello and welcome to Excellency Esports, where you're watching the Midway Testing Grounds. And this actually is the final Midway Testing Grounds before the Invitational. Next week, I am actually MLB play-by-play casting for you tonight. And joining me tonight on the desk is Doctor on the Color Cast. And Doctor, what do you got for us tonight?
I hopefully have an action-packed series ahead of us, and with that comes all of the absolutely wonderful things you can expect from a League of Legends series in draft phase, gameplay, and objective control. All of these are going to be coming at you live, fast, and unexpectedly, as we do have Revenge Nation Turquoise facing off against Glaive Esports Black.
There you have it, folks. There's your prescription from the doctor himself. You can take that one straight to the pharmacy to get what you need here. But like you mentioned, it's Revenge Nation versus Glaive, two very, very good teams. I believe these two teams competed in the final of the bracket that I casted a couple weeks ago for Excellency for the Midway. So these are two of the better teams, I believe, in Midway Testing Grounds, and we're going to see a shootout between them tonight. We're about to get in the pro draft here in just a little bit here, and then we can get started. But before that, Doctor, I want to talk a little bit about these teams. I know I've watched a lot of Glaive before. I've only seen Revenge Nation once. They were very, very solid. But yeah, we see Glaive all the time in this tournament. New addition to the team, really, is Kakari, who's been here a couple of weeks now. But a new mid laner for us. He started out as a sub, but now they're kind of on permanently for the team. So, but what do you got for us, Doctor?
Looking through the two teams, I'm actually really enjoying some of the more eclectic picks that the teams have in their wheelhouse. Speaking specifically to Kakari, most played champion is actually Vygar. Not something that we've seen a whole ton of in the professional scene since the departure of support Vygar. I guess we're going to call it that instead of the forced eviction that it actually was. But it's a fun champ due to, Glacial Keystone. It's been seeing some pretty decent play due to that style of, setup. Being able to slow people down with the Spooky Ghost through the GLP just really sets you up for that event horizon, which just takes away so much zone control from the teams, especially around objectives or even in the mid lane, because it is a short lane. You don't have too much room to actually maneuver. And so we've been seeing, at least I've been seeing in solo queue, it can be a true menace.
Certainly can, and that damage is nothing to sneeze at there, Doctor. More Doctor puns, and it's only just begun, folks. We're going to keep those rolling for you all night long, but we are into the pro draft now. You'll have seen that on your screen already, and the bands are starting to come out here. Some interesting ones for you. I'm looking at this Elise band, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? What can you tell us, Doctor? What is this band for?
So these are specifically targeting Glaive Demon. The two most played champions we have there are both the Elise and the Nunu. So they are going to be hyper focusing on that with a Galio follow-up. It is another Kakari special pick as well. But by targeting Elise and Nunu, it really opens up the jungle champion pool, because these are not picks you typically see. These are demon specials, and it is going to be interesting to see how deep this pool actually becomes. When you look at the OP.GGs for Demon, these two picks aren't that crazy more played than anything else you would expect in the meta. Nunu, 42 games played, Sejuani, 38 games played. And by almost all metrics, Sejuani is a stronger jungler. And so picking those two away, it makes it so the Demon has to go down to his next most played or his next most comfortable. And when you look at the list, they're all meta picks. So it is an interesting strat to open up this series with, because like you said, we are doing a 3-game series tonight, and we'll have to see as that progresses on if that actually works out for them.
Yeah, we will have to see here, Doctor, as the pro draft continues. That's Sejuani coming through for Glaive Demon, like you had pointed out previously. But yeah, the first pick, Hecarim, here for Revenge Nation. What a great pick. I mean, we're talking B1. This is exactly the jungler you're looking for. Absolutely at the top of the roll right now, at least in this Elo and midweight. There's some pretty crazy Lee Sins out there. But yeah, Hecarim just absolutely busted at the moment. And we'll see what Revenge Nation picks up here in just a little. And yeah, Ezreal picked up. That's pretty much the natural progression, excuse me, if the enemy team has banned Caitlyn and picked Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, we are on patch 10.18, so it's a little bit different from what we've been seeing in both NALCS and LEC playoffs. And so the Ezreal is a pretty strong pick. You can go either the Trinity Force or the Iceborne Gauntlet, whichever one you're feeling more comfortable on. And so it's still a very strong pick. It did peter out a little bit, but there's no reason not to pick it. And it does give you much more agency than a Senna pick may. They do go with the Morgana support as well, can really lock down that Ashe if they do get caught out. We're looking at an absolutely monstrous pick composition for Revenge Nation already. Glaive are going to round out Ashe with the Lulu. That's a crazy strong pick. That is such a strong poke-heavy bot lane.
Yeah, tons of poke on this bot lane, and it scales nicely as well. It's not something you're really giving up with this lane, is that scaling factor, which is huge for bot laners, right? I mean, a lot of times when you look for that early in there with the poke and the early damage, you end up giving away late game potential when you're picking things like the Jhin, like Callista, the Draven, stuff like that. Not with Ashe, not with Lulu. They've got it all at every stage of the game, so this is going to be a very strong lane indeed. The bans are out in the second phase here, and some top lane focus this go around, some focus on those solo lanes. Got the Malphite and Renekton, and brings us to kind of a point. Oh, there's a Viger you're talking about, Doctor. But brings you a second point here. We take a look at the top players between these two teams. Glaive Dibble is Diamond 4. Pretty good, right, Doctor? Revenge Nation's Eco's Gold 4. That's quite the discrepancy there. Do you think this is going to affect the series at all?
It very well can. Typically, my suggestions when we do find these types of rank disparities in some of these leagues is to try not to force too much out of your top laner. If you suspect your top laner can't necessarily hang with, the big boys, put them on tank duty. Looking at these ban phases, Ornn's still available. Absolutely monstrous pick. It does so much for your team overall. You can also go for the Maokai, very team fight oriented, very hard to misplay. You just have to survive long enough to press WR, and you basically did your job as really either of those two champions. Glaive are going to go for the just swinging play of picking the Camille, and I feel like Revenge Nation was almost expecting it and has the Poppy ready and waiting.
This is a fantastic answer and a fantastic response, really, to Glaive's Camille pick. Is this Poppy? This is such a great pick. I wish more top laners would pick this into things like Fiora, things like Tryndamere, where a champion really relies on that big engage dash tool. I think Poppy is just so good, but it seems kind of underplayed, and there are a lot of better top laners, so maybe that's not the worst thing, but this is definitely a solid pick here. And yeah, Glaive really came out swinging, like you mentioned, with the Camille. That is not a forgiving champion to lane against. Camille can absolutely run away with the game and can scale pretty hard to boot, but it's a 0 coming in B5 for Revenge Nation. Love this pick as well, Doctor. And yeah, I'm not really sure what Glaive's going to counter with. We're looking for a mid laner, and there's Orianna.
Yeah, Orianna, very safe pick, doesn't have to overextend too far, can really just survive the laning phase into Azir, and yet still offer an amazing damage output and survival output to the Sejuani, to the Camille, whoever really wants to dive on in and just create a hassle. And that's, once again, Poppy just shines over the rest of this draft because it does so much to negate Glaive's game plan. When you look at Sejuani, Camille, Orianna, you're expecting dive, shockwave, off cooldown, just do it again, dive, shockwave. And as long as Poppy's around and involved, she just says, no, not today. You will not be getting in here. You will not be shockwaving my carries. And now I'm going to boot one of you back to your base. And Axeman, I gotta be honest with you, Poppy's on the rise. There are a lot of buffs coming to top laners that Poppy absolutely demolishes. It's funny you mentioned Fiora specifically. She was recently buffed. They took some time off of her Q so she can use it more often. And boom, Poppy just says, no way, Jose, and just shuts that lane down, gets obscenely tanky, has the passive shield throughout the lane to try and survive, combo that with a Grasp of the Undying, and she gets mega tanky, and she can just completely negate somebody from a team fight by sending them back to base. It's a pick to watch in the future as we start seeing these patches upcoming. So if you want to gain that LP, I'd suggest spending some time in the Poppy corner.
All good points there, Doctor. But you had made the point earlier in the draft. The Revenge Nation had drafted themselves, at least in the first phase anyway, a confident pick comp. I think that might have evolved a little bit with the Poppy pick and the Azir pick, but elsewhere in the draft, Glaive seemed to have drafted themselves something similar. Of course, you can make the play, like you mentioned, with the ball delivery and the Orianna, the Camille, and play this like a dive comp. But there are also a lot of tools here to play this as a pick comp as well. The Ashe, the Sejuani, and then just tons of damage from Orianna as well. So there's really a lot of flexibility between these two comps, and that's what we're looking for in a dynamic draft. And I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't really feel either side is totally lost in draft, which is my favorite kind of game, Doctor.
Yeah, when both teams draft competitively and actually have answers to each other's questions, then it makes for a very interesting game. The biggest question for me personally, looking at this draft, is will Glaive be able to execute a 1-4 situation? Camille, when she can get ahead, is so unforgiving and just so dominant in that side lane that there's really not many champions that can just hard deal with her or hard counter her. The Poppy does an amazing job at staying alive, about not feeding into the Camille. But there is always a point of the game where Camille just outshines, just out damages, out farms, out pushes pretty much anybody you can put against her. And so if Glaive can make sure that the Camille stays even or ahead, then that becomes a very real threat as we hit mid and late game, where she can just push down a side lane, let the rest of the team survive and disengage. You have the Glacial Prison and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to keep safe, and just let the Camille take bases, take towers, take whatever she wants. So it's up to Revenge Nation to really temper that, to make it so that it's not a guaranteed play. Force the Camille to group, force the Camille to join objective fights, and make sure that she can't just run away with the game.
We are into the actual champion select now. In fact, I think we're just about to finish it here. But yeah, the burn of execution is a great point in terms of what Glaive needs to get done. But yeah, Revenge Nation has their work cut out for them as well, right? I mean, the Azir is not exactly the game's easiest champion, and Ezreal is a skill shot based champion. If you're not executing well in these champions, you're just not going to have a good time, and that will not be conducive to success in those lanes. They're also pretty important to this team scaling. So if they can't execute on them, they're basically just going to start to be dead in the water as the game goes on. But I think we just completed the actual champ select. Should be going into the spectator delay any moment now.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Azir is not an easy champion. You're right. I can attest to this. I've been playing a lot of the Azir mid lane recently. Does have its shining highlight moment play reels, but it is a little difficult. It does get a very micro focused once we start hitting this mid game, and you can start consistently having, you know, an army of soldiers ready to send into the fray. And when you do have plays like the Stream Shuffle and just other tricky things you can do with the kit, these always need to be in your mind. You always need to be prepared to just hit it. Just don't think about the play, just do the play, make sure you hit all the buttons in the right order, and if it comes off good and you make the play, it's great. We all remember the 4-man dive on the Azir down bot side from Team Liquid many years ago, and we all know how that one ended. But when it goes wrong, it's equally as punishing, and you're left just kind of feeling wanting. And so Arzen on the Azir is very crucial to this team composition. Going to be able to hold a lane solo, going to be able to bring towers back from the death and really create zone control for the rest of the team to get something going. With the dive composition of Camille Sejuani, Azir is going to be very crucial to making sure that his backline, his Ezreal, his Morgana don't get overrun. And it's going to be a very interesting dynamic once we get to these team fights to see how these two ideals just clash.
Fantastic points there, Doctor. But yeah, as far as just the players in the mid lane, we kind of talked about the champions a little bit. As far as these players go, first off, Arisen is a fantastic Azir. We've seen him all the time in testing grounds. I have no doubt he'll be able to execute on this champion. I think it's going to be pretty good. The only reason I even really brought it up, Doctor, is because not only they're playing to Glaive, which is a fantastic team, but they're playing to Kakari, and Kakari and Orianna can be quite the terror In fact, Kakari on most mages can be quite the terror. So this will be one of Arisen's biggest tests here as they move through the tournament series. And yeah, we'll have to see if he can hold up to it. Obongo should be pretty good on Ezreal as well. I don't have any real doubts about that. But you know, you miss enough skill shots and it all starts to add up. Got about a minute left in the spectator delay, so we'll keep filling here until that comes through. But yeah, what else you got for us here? I could talk about jungle, but normally it's really, really boring and takes way too long.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have some hard farming junglers. Sejuani can be very impactful early on because she's not that hard to gank with or for, especially when you have some decent setup. When you look at her lanes, you have the Camille, who has an almost guaranteed stun slash, just general presence. Being a melee champion as well, if you are able to get them both in a lane together, it does allow the Sejuani to proc her E a little bit quicker because you do get that bonus auto attack from melees. The mid lane is definitely Sejuani's hardest target to hit. Orianna, not amazing gank assist pre-6. And Azir just has so many get out of jail free cards that it's very difficult to gank. Ashe Lulu, that's a bit of a toughie as well because the Morgana Black Shield plus the Arcane Shift makes it not great to gank for. Hecarim, on the opposite side, again, amazing gank assistance in pretty much every lane. Again, mid lane's the tough one because Orianna is very safe and doesn't have too much to worry about. Azir pre-6 doesn't have amazing gank assist. Poppy and Morgana, however, are definitely cream of the crop when it comes to those helping out your junglers and getting in on the action. So as we're now loading into the game, we are starting to see some skin warfare coming out. Axeman, it's a little bit pay to win, if you will.
There's some great stuff here, Doctor. You got the Hex Tech Poppy looking fantastic over there. I think Darkrider Sejuani is a pretty old skin, so flexing on us a little bit with how long Demon's been playing this game. And yeah, but more important than that, there's a lot of interesting summoner spells and keystone choices in here. One that sticks out most to me is going to be Ghost for Kakari's Orianna.
Flash Ghost is something that occasionally gets brought out in the old solo queue matchup. It does give you so much maneuverability, and you can pop Ghost pretty much whenever. The cooldown's so short that you don't lose much by just burning it. If you're ever in fear of getting ganked, or if you see the enemy, laner getting caught out in like pixel bush or something, and you just need a go button, you can just pop it. And if the cooldown's so short, you really don't have to worry about it too much. I have seen it a ton on Twisted Fate players and Victor players because they're typically very immobile outside of Twisted Fate's ultimate, obviously, and so it just gives them that much more gumption in trying to get away or trying to get involved in a team fight. And so it has its merits. The airy is the thinking emoji button for me, however. It leads me to believe we're going to be seeing a very supportive Orianna come out from Kakari. Maybe picking up like a Chalice or even an Ardent Sensor if the Lulu doesn't pick it up. I've been seeing a lot of phase rush Orianna. Typically, you get so much move speed out of that, and it's very easy to trigger as the Orianna. And so the airy, I'm curious to see how it plays out because it is not standard from what I've been able to see. Cleanse on the Arisen, very strong. Basically takes away a lot of what Sejuani can bring to the table in that mid lane. You love the rooster dance coming out in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, we got the Azir here in the mid lane with Hecarim up in the top side covering that jungle entrance. Both junglers, I believe, are going to back and take those. Actually, no, Demon's not going to get red. Trenky's going to stick with the yellow. It's interesting. Normally see junglers get the reset and go for what was called sweeping lens back in my day. I have no idea what it's called now, Doctor, but the red one. Anyway, yeah.
Oracle lens.
Oracle lens, that's the one. But yeah, Kakari in the mid lane. I'm wondering if this Ghost is almost something like, kind of like what you were mentioning with the support style. Maybe this is more of like a roam heavy decision. Maybe you hit Ghost and run up the river. I don't know. We might see that here from Orianna. Orianna has some pretty gnarly roams when they can get them down. But, only time will tell. We'll have to figure it out as we go along here. Poking the bot lane, but nothing too bad. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, pretty much going to be normal for the next couple minutes. Both junglers starting on opposite sides. This does lead us to believe that Demon wants to be ganking for this top side. Makes sense. Needs to get Dibble ahead to be that very dangerous split push threat that the Camille can be. Even if Dibble may be on the right track to be doing it themselves, maybe doesn't need any jungler intervention. Strong independent top laner and all that.
It's a pretty big trade in the top lane from Dibble. Yeah, Zico just kind of ran out of minions and started taking a lot of damage there. But, continued trading the top lane. You have to think it's going to be the all-in soon here, Doctor. At least for me, I mean, both these champions have pretty solid all-ins. It's going to be Poppy looking to pin Camille to a wall and Dibble looking to stun Poppy from a wall.
Yeah, so far we're seeing really good trading patterns from Dibble, recognizing that once the shield is on the ground, Zeko is just running for it, just making sure that, hey, I procced my long-range auto passive, I need to get the shield to get the most value. And you don't always need to do that. You get the Grasp of the Dying proc, you deal percent health damage, you get a little of HP for yourself. Sometimes that's all you really need it for.
Yeah, and we have Demon up in the top lane. I don't know if directed camera's looking at this, but this is pretty spooky for us who don't have Fog of War on Glaive. There is no way Zico knows about this. So he is quite literally just trying to freeze outside of his turret for, the utility of it, but he might be saving his own life. Yeah, Demon spent a lot of time in that bush just to walk away. That is definitely going to be a factor in this jungle path. And down the bot lane, Obongo taking so much damage, but giving it back to Issei in equal measure. I think I'd rather... Oh, goes down with the flash from the Lulu. Iconic going to be trading that back on Issei, immediately punishing them for stepping up.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate timing there. Iconic was right place, right time. The flash forward from Issei, though, was a little unexpected. You don't always expect the Lulu to flash forward, pick Glitter Lance as an aided carry, and sometimes it works out. Sometimes the play just kind of happens, and you can't really do anything about it. But first blood over to the support versus a kill going over to the jungler. Honestly, I'd probably take the jungle kill in that factor, especially when you have Hecarim, who is this, kind of farm-hungry champion who needs to get items, needs to get ahead to really be super relevant, even though they do skill amazingly.
Yeah, and Doctor, not only is he that massive champion who farms so much, with the amount of time Demon spent on that top lane gank, all of a sudden, Iconic is far ahead, very, very far ahead of Demon right now. A whole, 2.5 camps? That's pretty insane, but, ooh, topside. Zico getting his money's worth here with the damage, but, yeah, I think he needs to back off. He's dealing a lot of damage to Dibble, though. Maybe we'll see the fight. Demon's up on the top side, so Zico saving his own life once again by playing under turret. We'll see if we see the dive here.
Yeah, as I say, Srani moving up. The great interruption from Dibble to make sure that this play actually happens. And so now, yeah, easy gank. Oh,
fantastic. You said easy gank. I don't know if you which side you meant there, because that almost seemed pretty easy from Iconic. I feel like if he had Ghost there, maybe they'd pick up a kill onto one of those two Glaive players, but they did not, so both sides going to disengage. Just really great movement from Iconic there to move up in the top side, recognizing they can flip that gank on its head. First dragon is spawned. See if anybody goes for that.
Earth Dragon, which means we will not be getting an Earth Soul this time. Nobody gets the bonus shield. We will have to see what the second one is when it does get picked up. We do see Hecarim on the bottom side of the map. With his Sheen, could probably solo it with his double potion still available as well. But King's onto the bottom side. He may actually be looking to get a gank off here. Ghost not quite off cooldown yet, though.
I think he might need the Ghost, but probably not for this gank. Here's the gank. The charge on the Issei is going to deliver them right to Kiva with the damage. Dealing so much. Dark Binding goes wide. That doesn't connect. I think Glaber out here, but the skill shot is going to finally connect with Kiva, allowing the kill onto the Ashe. And trade it back on a Hecarim, actually. Strike the camera drags me away, but up at the top side, Dibble might be in trouble. Here comes the ult. Zico looking to fight their way out of the situation. Has the entire wave waiting for him to help out. Both top laners disengage as the pressure continues on the bot side for Glaive, for Issei down there, desperately trying to defend his turret.
Yeah, directed camera had a bit of a conniption there, going back and forth.
Day,
yeah, but no, strong play in the top side from Zekro, actually. You know, this isn't an easy lane because of how much damage Dibble can put out. You know, we do need the Poppy to be able to survive. Oh, no.
Reckoning just absolutely deleted there by Kiba. Almost basically nothing really to say. You get nailed by Dark Vine, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, the flash volley, who expects a flash volley? That's some
Not
bold
me.
style of gameplay coming out from Kiba there. And it does give them the dragon. They are going to be able to pick up the first Earth Drake here. Zekko playing hyper aggressive, maybe trying to make it seem like his jungler's around so that maybe they fall off the dragon. I'm not sure what the hyper aggression does for him in that exact moment.
Well, keep in mind, there's quite a big discrepancy between the ranks of these two players. So maybe Zekko just kind of misunderstanding the matchup a little bit. But I've got to give him credit. I'm definitely not flaming him or anything like that because he's been playing this lane beautifully. But, you know, Zekko, I guess, gave up a solo kill or something like that. That would be fairly understandable to me anyway. Zekko now 30 CS behind. Iconic might be getting collapsed on here, but no, he's going to be just fine. And yeah, that dragon did eventually go down to Glaive. We might see Iconic try and trade back the Rift Herald, but they don't have fantastic map control up there, Doctor.
Yeah, because of the hyper pushing Dibble, it's going to be really difficult for them to take on a fight around this Rift Herald. The threat of collapse is simply too large, especially when you have the Ghost Orianna. At any point, she can just pop it, and because it's actually such an unseen summoner ability recent times, you can almost not expect somebody to know how quickly the rotations can be using that summoner ability. And if you start up the Rift Herald and you're feeling good about it, and then all of a sudden you have Camille, Orianna, and Sejuani on top of you, you're like, oh no, I've made a mistake. What in my life has led me to this exact situation I find myself in now?
It's a great point for sure, and yeah, getting collapsed on that is not a good time at all. But we talked earlier in the broadcast about the CS differences here between these two junglers, and Iconic is not disappointed in their scaling factor. Now, like, I don't know, 25 ahead, so it's a pretty big difference there. That Rift Herald is going to go down to Demon, though, who now has unmatched objective control on Summoner's Rift, but you win some, you lose some. I'd say the Hecarim's still on top of course, jungling, teleporting the bot side. It's going to roll into the gank from Iconic. Charge on a Kaiba with the ult to boot. There's True Shot Barrage. Finally into the death of Kiba. Issei is soon to follow after with the burst damage from 4 members of Revenge Nation Turquoise. And yeah, it's a pretty good play there, Doctor. What do you think?
Yeah, I do like the decision there to call in the top laner. When you are struggling a little bit CS-wise, you do want to get more involved in the map overall. Whether it is helping with the Dragon objective or the Herald's objective. This time, it's just get kills, get assists. Zekko doesn't walk away with any of the kill gold, but he gets, something for his trouble. Does pick up the double assist, helps the team out, gets a couple plates for his bot side, and, recognizing that on the Poppy, he's not the true carry. Does need to let someone else do the heavy lifting. Just needs to be a wall that, doesn't let anybody through. And so far, they're doing an amazing job. They're holding the tower as best as possible. They're not getting, completely pub stomped. They're holding their own. They're getting tanky. They're surviving, which is exactly what this team needs from them right now.
Great point there, Doctor. Yeah, neither side really getting curb stomped or really demolished at this stage of the game. Both sides fairly even. Of course, you will give the Dragon advantage over to Glaive here, but it's just one for now. Demon going for another long Kong in the bot lane. We'll see if this one works better for the earlier one up in top lane. I assume it probably will. I think Zekko is pretty intense on not leaving their turret. I'm thinking Revenge Nation Turquoise bot lane might venture out a little bit here, but Demon's already spent a lot of time down there. He's really got to... Oh, here we go. Glacial Prison out, going to nail Obongo, but the Black Shield comes out, allowing Obongo to escape. Now damage coming out onto Demon. True Shot Barrage down too, leaves them with less than 100 health. Just massive there, Doctor. And Demon has to run away, tail between their legs.
Overall, Summoner economy, though, going still in favor of Glaive. They trade the Sejuani Flash for the Flash Heal and Exhaust of the Revenge bottom side. And so, yeah, it looked... Oh, no.
Iconic. Trying to get out. He is going to ult. See if he can get away. Oh, big Emperor's Divide there from Arisen, who's looking for the triple kill. I think he might have it here, Doctor. There come the soldiers. Issei is going to get a shield from his mid laner, though. Finally going down on the Lulu, but Hikari and Kiba, excuse me, are going to make it away just 35 seconds before the Dragon spawn.
Really good rotation there from Arisen, you know, making sure that the team is not left wanting. The Black Shield, absolutely last second coming in for Itaconic, does able to survive that, is going to be ready for this Dragon fight, like you said, in a couple seconds now. No teleport available for either top laner, so they will not be involved in this fight. It is up to the bottom four. Demon has to pop this Herald somewhere. With how much HP is left on this top tower, just about a guaranteed first brick right now. So the good presence of mind for that. They may trade the Dragon for it, but if they can give it mostly over to Dibble, which they're just going to take it. They're just going to take the brick and say, have the tower, we don't need it. And they're actually going to go for a second charge on the tier 2, which is massive value out of this.
I have to imagine they'll be getting that too, but Iconic soloing out this Dragon here. And it is normally a waste of a time for a jungler to... go. I think they managed to, yeah, they killed the Rift Herald before it got a second charge off. Demon's in trouble now as Arisen's found them in the topside jungle. But Demon able to get out of there with the, what's it called? Arctic Assault, I think, is the name of the ability. Something like that. Arisen looking for blue now. Taking that over from Iconic, their jungler down the bot side. Glaive looking for this bot turret. They might have a solid argument for it as Arrow comes out. It goes wide. A Bongo with True Shot Barrage is going to leave. Issei with less than 100 health. It could be going down here. Oh, man. Here's Dave Reckoning with the Dark Binding goes wide. And now there's the shield and the heal out from Kiba as well to get their support out of that situation. And it's just some plating at the end of the day that goes down to Glaive and some summoner spells used to get it.
So a little bit of disaster coming out there for Glaive. You know, almost losing their bottom side to over-aggression. They do lose their jungler in their own jungle, which is really unfortunate for Demon. Not only do you lose the red buff, you also lose your life. So that does just give Itaconic just that much more aheadness. Does now have a completed Trinity Force and is well on their way to the next item. Whereas we see Demon just now completing the Cinderhulk and Tabby. So it's a little bit of a power discrepancy in terms of junglers right now.
For sure, and it's always difficult for me to gauge the strength of Hekarims. Not so much in this game. Hecarim is very, very strong, but when a Hecarim goes for something like skipping jungle item and going straight into Triforce, because on one hand you have Triforce, on the other hand you don't have a jungle item, so you know who's really winning here. In this case, I would say it's Iconic, you know, every single time over Demon, but yeah, normally it's a little bit harder to tell. This should be Revenge Nation getting the turret here. Actually, no. I feel like you could just walk in and auto this to do the Ezreal, but maybe you feel you don't have the safety to be able to do that, Doctor, and instead they're going to disengage and walk back, just start to take some minions.
Yeah, the problem with the Ashe Lulu lane is with everything Lulu brings, the whimsy, the help picks, you can very quickly lose control of a situation, not just of your character, but because of how quickly you can send Demon flying in with that whimsy, it really creates a problem where you never truly feel safe because you don't know where the boar is going to come from. And Arisen is taking a little bit of damage here, but these bot sides, nobody wants to overextend. They've recognized that the junglers could really just delete either side.
They absolutely can, but yeah, you mentioned Arisen taking a bunch of damage. Hikari has got themselves a significant CS lead there in the mid lane, but up in the top lane, yeah, that engage going to be diffused her now as Echo blocks the dash in from Dibble. But Zeko taking tons of damage from this Camille so far, Doctor, and you have to imagine they can't hang on for much longer down the bot lane. Demon may be looking for the gank. Not on any vision of any kind, but they're trying to confirm that. I gotta say, Doctor, I don't really want to see the long con gang from Demon again. I feel like it's been the waste of their time thus far. They haven't been able to convert on it. So, try something else. But here's the Arctic Assault. Flash Shield immediately onto Bongo is only going to lead to Glacial Prison onto Gabe Wrecking. Flashes out of that situation. They get away scot-free with the teleport from Zeko. Now it's Revenge Nation on the attack. And they will be outrun here by Glaive, able to escape the Sejuani and Lulu. Tons of mobility between them.
Yeah, that teleport, I like it a little bit less than the one we saw earlier. They could actually lose top tower tier 2 after that. Camille just does tons of damage, has the completed Trinity Force, has that Tiamat. It hurts towers right now. And yeah, it's just gone, 100-0.
For sure. In a lot of ways, Camille is a scarier Fiora, but man, just so much damage going down to Zeko right now. Answers back with some damage of their own with the ultimate, but ooh, misses Q. That's a lot of output damage from Poppy. Gonna take tons of damage off the ult, but now Poppy answers back. The true Chaparral comes in clutch, Doctor, from downtown. Obongo says, yoink.
Hey, that is a kill secure if I have ever seen one. You keep your top laner alive, you let them catch up a little bit, you get yourself a nice little bit of pocket change. That's definitely worth it, and your top laner is loving you right now. Is going to be able to go back, pick up the next item. I'm hoping it's a Bramble Vest, because that is pretty key right now to trying to shut down Dribble.
Doctor, give us your diagnosis. Do you think Dibble's mad after that one? I'd be mad.
Oh, I'd be so heated. I would be like, are you kidding me? I blow Flash. I blow my ultimate. Now I'm TPing in. I am killing a Bongo. You are not getting away from me, Explorer Man.
Arisen might actually get out of this situation. Demon flashed over the wall. Here's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And yeah, with a flash of their own, but here's Kari. No, Shockwave is going to spell the end for Arisen after using both summoner spells to get out. And ult as well there, Doctor. I hadn't mentioned, but Glaive looking for Dragon. This is not going to go uncontested as Revenge Nation look for the end, but the Dragon dance continues. And this go around, it's Glaive leading. True Shot Barrage comes out for the steal. Comes out a little bit too late.
Yeah, pretty much have to give it up after that point. Your mid laner is your second strongest right now. We've seen how much damage Arisen can do. Itaconic kind of lights out strong. Does have a completed jungle item just about with the Trinity Force, but with no mid laner, that's such a tough fight to take. Yes, Orianna doesn't have anything left. No Shockwave, no summoners, but it's still just tough because you're on the wrong side of the dragon. You have to fight through the wall and the dragon itself. It's just really tough to try and aggress effectively.
For sure. We're going to see the two top players fighting over blue here on the top side of that. Glacial Prison comes out of Demon, and all of a sudden the damage is mounting on Zico. Going to ult briefly, only knocking out the enemy team, and down goes Zico. Demon should be next, but is there enough damage? Itaconic going to ult. Going to be able to get out of that situation as well. Risen is here, though. He's bringing the damage. Emperor's Divide comes out, but I don't think he's going to be able to track down any kills here, Doctor. Just looking for a little bit of disengage, and against all odds, almost everybody makes it out of that alive. But at the end of the day, Glaive gets the pick down on the Zeko.
Yeah, Zeko's the only one that dies. I almost count that as a win for Revenge Nation. In a really awkward fight where they were down numbers-wise, they're down a little bit power-wise because even after Itaconic goes in, it doesn't kill anybody. And you kind of need that one-shot capability from the Hecarim to truly utilize a lot of the power. And because of how tanky a lot of Glaive is right now, it's difficult. We do see a wonderful engage, gets onto 3 members, does everything right, and everybody goes so incredibly low. But Obongo, not able to get there in time, doesn't quite have the movement speed necessary, and it was an off-number fight. So we do see the blue buff still actually going over to Arisen. So, I don't know, is your blue buff worth your top laner right now?
You know, that's a good point. I would say, yeah, sure. I mean, if their top laner is ADCS down, you know, why not? We'll take blue over top laner every day. But Gabe Wrecking in the top side, looking to sweep some of this vision as we pass that 20-minute mark and Baron has spawned. Both teams going to be looking to that objective rather soon, but it's 2.5 minutes until Dragon. And in the mid lane, Itaconic looking for something is going to get forced out instead. And yeah, Glaive looking super spooky right now. They got a little bit of a lead here, Doctor, but a lot of that coming from CS, and CS alone. The kills are leaning towards Revenge Nation, but as we all know, CS over kills all day. Zeko taking damage to the bot lane, but it's only a little bit there as Poppy starts to stack armor. You can take a look at the inventory. Sunfire Cape and the Ninja Tabby. Yeah, that's an armored Poppy.
Yeah, I like I said, would have preferred a Bramble Vest. Having that healing cut can be very effective into Ashe Camille. And because they're both auto attack reliant, you get a guaranteed proc of it, and it saves the rest of your team from having to buy that Grievous Wounds for the minute. You will eventually need to get an Executioner's Calling onto the Ezreal, but with that Bramble Vest, you cut out so much from the enemy team, and as the main tank, it's really not that much of an investment. It's only the $1,000. So you're spending 800 on a chain vest and just getting a little bit of armor. Why not spend that extra 200 and also get the passive?
Great point there, especially if you're going to be trying to side lane into this Camille, who is certainly outscaling this Poppy. You mentioned the Poppy stacking armor. It almost looks like they're not. I mean, they're taking so much damage from this Camille, and all that's down to scaling. Iconic in the mid lane, going to eat Enchanted Crystal Arrow as Kiba eats another Mystic shot there. Takes a bunch of damage themselves, but that's the arrow down. Kakari drops Ghost. There's Shockwave onto Arisen, but it's not an instant kill. Just can't quite burst Arisen down all the way. They're going to have to use their own ult to get out of that situation, though.
Flash not yet available for Kakari. Definitely would have secured the kill with that, but the Ghost is putting danger in the mind. You're now in a spot where the Orianna can conceivably almost kill you.
Ooh, the ult charge there onto Kiba might spell death for Glaive's ADC, but Trusha for Oz comes in once again from off screen and takes the kill on Issei. Almost gets Kiba as well. And we're back down the bot lane. Yeah, he's just been so good. Oh
with only 10 seconds left before the dragon too, and we're starting to hit a point of the game where dragons are important. If Glaive are able to take this, they set themselves up onto Soul Point. So this is actually a really crucial dragon to deny from Glaive.
Keeping in mind, this is Ocean Soul too. This isn't some Cloud Soul you can just give, but charge from Zico. A little bit ambitious there. The rest of the team is turning on to Dibble, see if they can catch him. Hecarim with the charge, doing tons of damage. And it's going to be close. Glacial Present goes wide. Demon looking for Iconic, does not find the horse. Iconic might actually get out here. Here's the charge. No, sir. Enchanted Arrow comes out as well on a Gate of Reckoning. Another arrow. And this one finds its target, but it's just not to be. Gate of Reckoning is just going to walk out of that situation completely. Now it's Glaive that looked like they had the inside track on the Dragon.
Yeah, it's another unfortunate series of events happening for Revenge Nation. They end up losing their jungler this time, not just the mid laner, which means they can't conceivably contest it because they can't even get close enough to put damage onto Demon, let alone take them out and deny that smite capability. And the damage we're seeing from Kakari right now is obscene. Went for that Seraph's Death Cap style build. Tons of burst damage coming out. This is the type of Orianna that if you see ghosting at you, you need to flash a wall or something because they're just going to make you delete from the map.
Absolutely. I mean, that Shockwave combo with literally any other champion on the map is going to delete pretty much anybody on Revenge Nation right now. But I wanted your input on something. Looking at the build from Demon here, and this doesn't look like a typical Sejuani build to me. Normally we see Cinderhulk into something health heavy. It's like looking at Dead Man's Plate, things like Warmog, stuff like that to stack up the Cinderhulk, but also to make use of Sejuani's passive that just gives you free resistances. Instead, they kind of gone the opposite direction, just built resistances. How do you think? How do you feel about this?
You're right. You do typically see the Dead Man's Plate or the Warmogs, whichever one, to just get healthy because you do get free resistances, and there's no want not for waste not. This one does signal that they are going to be inside a very deep pocket of enemies. They're going to be surrounded by multiple members at any given time, and so they do need even more resistances than normal. I assume they went the Overgrowth talent as well because we do see the Aftershock there, and so they are going to be getting more health off of. Okay.
Stun onto Dibble, followed by the charge. Here the ult comes down to Zeko from Dibble, but it's just not going to be enough. between the Poppy and the Hecarim, there's just enough damage to take down the Camille. Demon over the wall. Dark Binding misses. But that's just fine for both parties, as I don't really think Demon is all that concerned with standing still for 4 seconds. It's a great point you made that they're looking to be able to stand in the enemy backline for, oh, here we go. Teleport in the mid lane. Might be Zeko looking for Kiba, but he might find the entire enemy team. And these teleports from Zeko, I'm telling you, these have been very interesting. But yeah, Sejuani, I think you're right. Looking to be in the enemy backline, looking to take tons of damage from all sources. And to be fair, for 4 seconds, Gargoyle Stoneplate does give you more health. So I think it might even be more health than Warmogs would have given you here, but it is only for 4 seconds.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a best of both worlds situation. You know, you dive in with that Arctic Assault, pop it. You don't really care about damage because you're Sejuani. You're definitely not here for damage. You're just here for your crowd control. So you just dive in, do exactly your job. If you survive, great. If you die, that means the enemy's pretty freaking fed. So going to be picking up that Deadman's, following it up with the Warmog's second. So that will be much more standard. It's going to be pretty much an unkillable, you know, demon boar person. And I don't see the damage just yet from Revenge Nation to be able to deal with that type of situation diving into your backside.
Exactly. It would have to be the Azir for me. And yeah, Risen just isn't all that ahead. I mean, it's got plenty of sustained damage, but I would have to say that if your Azir is preoccupied with trying to shred down the enemy Sejuani, he's probably getting deleted by Shockwave and Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well. So not a good situation to be in here for Revenge Nation. Got that dragon coming up in a minute 30. Baron has been up for a while now too. We're at the stage of the game where either team could really rush down Baron, so we might see the trade here. It is Soul Point for Glaive, so they'll be looking for Ocean Soul. And the resets start to come out. You don't want to be caught with a ton of gold just before Dragon.
Yeah, so what we're seeing vision-wise, as we can take a look at this top side river around the Baron, we do see a control ward in the top mid bush and the pixel bush. Just absolute vision domination, vision kingdom, if you will, for Glaive right now. They will not be having the Baron snuck away from them. And I'm curious if they opt into the Baron trade, where they go for the Baron, recognizing that they only delay their Ocean Spike by about 5 minutes if they opt into that. I do think Ocean Soul is the strongest objective you can conceivably pick up right now. The Baron will always be there. Ocean Soul is temporary. You can't give that over to the enemy team and expect to get it back. So I do like this decision right now from Glaive to keep some vision control around the dragon while not completely giving up topside, because they do still have a ward in the front of the Baron and Camille's topside just taking base.
For sure, they're definitely going to make Revenge Nation decide between at least 2 things, maybe more. Zeko looking to answer in the top side, but for me, it's all eyes on the dragon here. I'll lock the camera down there real quick, but yeah, I love when teams make the enemy team decide between Ocean Soul and the Baron. I especially like the play where you just go for Baron. Glaive going to start up the dragon here. Revenge Nation looking for the engage. Glacial Prison comes out on Iconic, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out here onto Gay of Reckoning. And now it's Iconic with the ult in the backside. Steals the Ocean Dragon, and Demon is going down very quickly. They proc the Stone Plate. Here comes Ariza with a massive Emperor's Divide. Rushes down Kiva, actually gets the kill onto Isang Takari. Simultaneously, Obongo looking for Dibble. Isn't quite going to find them, but Arizen's on the hunt. He's looking for the Camille. He's going to find her. And there, down goes the Camille in the back end of the fight. You'll notice there's an Ashe that made it out of that situation. So Kiva with the quick feet there, able to get out of that fight. But it really is the only good thing that happened to Glaive in the past minute or so, Doctor. They get the dragon stolen away from him. They get almost ace. They're going to lose a bunch of turrets in the mid lane here. We'll see what else Revenge Nation can get, but oh my goodness, just what a good fight there for Revenge Nation.
Yeah, absolute worst case scenario there for Glaive Esports. They lose the dragon, so they don't get the soul, so they delay themselves 5 minutes anyway. They get 4 for 1 and give a ton of money over to the enemy Azir, who was already doing pretty good damage. That was a huge play from Arisen there, making sure to keep his team in the running for this game right now. Without that, they get the Ocean Soul. Glaive Esports rockets ahead, wins the team fight, takes Baron, wins the game. But because of Risen stepped up, gets a massive 4-man Emperor's Divide, the teams are still evenish. The teams are ready to duke it out for the Baron now because they know there's no Dragon for another 3 minutes. It is up to Reckoning right now to stay safe. Doesn't have a buddy with them, and Isaiah does. So it's a bit of a sticky situation around the Baron right now.
That is all the advantage you need here in the late game is an extra body for you. Volley coming out, gonna hit Reckoning, but not too much damage here. And something I love about Ocean Souls is that it feels so bad taking an Ocean Dragon unless it's the Ocean Soul in this late game, because regen does essentially nothing for you. You're not fighting extensive fights sprawling over the map. You're not going to little skirmish between little skirmish. You're running out of the base. You're fighting. You're either dying or winning, and then you're back. That's what you do in the late game. So regen doesn't really help you nearly as much as it does in the early game. So for literally every Ocean Dragon that Revenge Nation take until they actually get the soul, it's just going to feel super bad. But after that fight, yeah, it feels pretty good to get the ace, and that is nothing to sneeze at. But I guess the pseudo ace anyway. Now Revenge Nation looking for the Baron. They do have the inside track on it. They sweep all the vision away. Now Glaive. Yeah.
This is a good situation for them to have the buddy system and tons of damage coming out from a bongo right now. 4, 1, and 6, 4 fully completed items, just chonking people for these Mystic shots. The biggest concern for me is still no Grievous Wounds item for anybody on Revenge Nation. For the price of just a little bit more than a Kindle Gem, you can prevent your enemy from healing, folks. Kakari.
Yeah, it's tons of damage coming out onto the Orianna so far, but there's just no summoner spells. Glacial Prison into a bongo is going to have to cleanse that away, but here is Dibble in on the backside. It's onto a bongo, going to take them down, and down goes Iconic as well. Now it's Gabe Reckoning who is going down, but it's the Poppy into the back line. Arisen is locked up. The damage comes out, and the flash from Isai gets the kill onto the Revenge Nation mid laner. Now it's Dibble back in. They're looking to finish off Revenge Nation on the backside. 3v1. Can Zeko do it? My heart says no. My head agrees, and it's going to be Glaive onto the Baron here, Doctor.
Yeah, no teleport available for Dibble. Just ran up to join the team fight. We did see a ton of abilities get blown trying to take out Kakari. Ends up being one of the only members to go down at the end of the day. So a 2 for 5 and the Baron is Glaive just saying, look, the Dragon was a fluke. It's not going to happen again. We're winning this game, and here, let us prove it to you. And is a bit of an overcommitment from Arisen trying to get Kiba. Wasn't able to dash behind them, pushed them further away from the rest of the team. As soon as that happens, just give up. Disengage entirely. Do not overcommit to a fight, because we're at the stage of the game where the enemy team can basically duo Baron. Dibble and Demon could definitely do that, and if you lose a fight by any margin, you're losing out on a ton of map pressure. And now the Dragon's in 10 seconds, and Reckoning's about to go down.
Oh my! Yeah, the Shockwave eventually comboed into the Morgana going down. Chain Crystal Arrow is going to miss, though. That should be the disengage. Yeah, Iconic makes it away. But now, all of a sudden, it's a 4v5 here around the Dragon. Revenge Nation at a pretty hefty disadvantage without their support. Glaive, they want the kills, though. They track out the Dragon. It's going to go down fast here, folks. Revenge Nation to get in here if they want the steal. And there's just... Oh, it actually resets a little bit here. Iconic is in, but he misses! True Shot Barrage is out, does a little bit of damage. Iconic trying to survive in the back end. Glacial Prison onto a bongo. And Arisen, both. Arisen getting bursted down by the damage here. And it's just a bongo left for Revenge Nation on the back end of the fight. And Glaive say, hey, we don't even need the kill on this guy. We got Ocean Soul, and we're going to run it down mid here. But Dibble might be looking to get a bongo. Oh, no. This isn't good. Yeah,
he's done.
Mission critical.
Yeah, the biggest benefit right now...
Okay. Well, hang on now.
Wait a
minute. Wait a second. Hold on. No, he just walks away. Wow, okay. Well, that's not what I was expecting, but I guess, yeah, Glaive down the mid lane.
That double vamp items for a bongo and no healing cut on anybody means that they get to survive quite a while.
Yeah.
And I was going to say the biggest benefit for Revenge Nation was that the waves weren't really pushing against them at that moment. So you can see that just about everybody's back alive and they've only lost their middle inhibitor. Had the waves been more on their side of the map, that could have been game right away. Also, had Dibble teleported top instead of chasing the Ezreal, maybe he gets a finish off of that as well, because that was one of the only waves that was truly pushing in for them. But a middle inhibitor and the Ocean Soul, you can't go wrong. You get super
Might
minions
be
in the middle.
bot turret too. Oh, it just goes down so fast there, Doctor. It's sickening. But double waves down the bottom lane are going to be pushing, or hard pushing, really. But Zekko's come to clean those up. But yeah, I don't really know what the chase from Dibble was. I think maybe he was thinking that the health bar on the bongo was small enough where he could just take them. But that was not the case at the end of the day. Camille just didn't have the damage. Interesting note as well, Camille is no stranger to healing. You got the Death Stance, you got the Ravenous Hydra as well. So looking to see a healing cut. Yeah, there's the healing cut item on a bongo. I wonder if that was the biggest differential in the 1v1 is that there's just executioners calling on one side and not one on the other.
Yeah, and now it's late game. We're in the end stages of this game. We're at 38 minutes. The second Baron is in 2.5 minutes. And so right now, Revenge Nation have 2.5 minutes to get as strong as humanly possible. They need to just go out of their mind Super Saiyan right now if they want to win this game. They need to fight the second Baron, win it, take the Baron, and at least hold out for the Elder Drake at that point and try and get that one as well.
The road to victory is long and difficult, but it is a road. There is a path to victory here for Revenge Nation. Zekko trying to defend from Dibble, who is just eating these structures alive. Baron buff has dropped, but that Ocean Soul doesn't go away, baby. It's still there. The rest of Glaive is still on the top side, pushing in these wave after wave into that top turret. True Shot Barrage out to clear some of that wave pressure, but you know, it's only going to stop the bleeding for a short time.
Yeah, the road to victory, as you call it, is right now through the Forbidden Forest. Giant spiders line the path, and the Wood Elves are looking to bring you into some servitude. And this is just looking so tough right now for Zekko.
Yep. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. The flash coming out finally, and there's the, oh my! The ult comes out, but that interaction favors Camille as Arisen goes down there, and Glaive are finishing the game. Give Reckoning goes golden, Hecarim ults out, but the Morgana's going down, this time to Camille. That Ocean Soul doesn't play. Take a look at these health bars. There is no damage on Glaive after killing half of Revenge Nation. They're diving turrets now. Still no damage. This is going to be the Nexus here, Doctor, in game one. And I don't know. Glaive looking pretty dominant. The bonus kills here. Demon and Dibble looking for Iconic. They don't find it as the Nexus explodes. Yeah, pretty convincing performance there on the back end.
Yeah, I think a lot of it breaks down to their composition being your typical ease of execution composition. They have what we love to call a press R comp. Everybody presses their ultimate button, and if the enemy team is still alive, you lose the fight. But if they all die, congrats, you win a fight, you get an objective, and you can do it again in 80 seconds or so. Whereas when we look at the Revenge Nation composition, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. You know, if you miss that Emperor's Divide, if you don't stop the engage as with the Stalwart Presence, if you can't assassinate the enemy AD carry as Iconic, suddenly things start to devolve really quickly. And as we head into game two, I think that's where they need to focus a little bit more time, is on the draft. Maybe get something a little bit more straightforward, something a little bit less demanding. And maybe they can meet in the middle a little bit, still get some, high skill ceiling champions, but just make it so that they're a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah, it's a great point there. And I think one of the biggest problems was with execution, like you were talking about. And it's not necessarily a matter of personal performance, I don't think, as much. Because, you know, if you were to say, well, Revenge Nation lost this because Arisen can't play Azir, you're wrong. Arisen plays Azir great. Like, he has great execution. But the issue is that if a Bongo has to play Ezreal perfectly, if Arisen has to play Azir perfectly, if Zacho, Iconic, Reckoning all need to play their champions perfectly for the comp to work, that's a lot of moving pieces, like you mentioned, that have to come together. And at the end of the day, you're probably asking yourself, we could have picked at least a couple of these a little bit easier champions, or at least with clearer win conditions, right? But yeah, I think that's going to be the end of game one here for us. We're going to take a quick break between games, and then we'll get back in the action for this Testing Grounds tournament this week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
history. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. For all the pain. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. And when you're alone, do you say my name or you say her name? Yeah. My love, it grows with the memories like a symphony. And you and I, we got history, yeah. Wherever love goes, there is also tragedy. When we're in too deep, and you and I, we got history, yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Excellency Esports, where you're watching the Midway Testing Grounds tournament. And I'm not sure which week this is, but it's the week before the Invitational tournament here. And yeah, this is one of the last chances, actually the last chance, to pick up Testing Grounds points for that Invitational. It is just Glaive and Revenge Nation here tonight to pick up those points. So we're doing a best of three. We're going into game two here in just a little bit. I'm X-Men87, and joining me on the desk is Doctor.
Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, the best of three classification's a little up in the air right now. We're trying to figure that out as we go along. But we are in game two of whatever tonight is gonna be, and it is up to the teams now to see if they change up their bans. I think Revenge Nation is going to be feeling pretty confident in what they banned away from game one, sticking to that Elise Nunu. Maybe float the third pick. Maybe don't ban the Galio. Although Camille Galio is pretty scary.
It does get pretty scary. Going back to that kind of ball delivery point that you made with the Orianna, nothing is scarier than Shockwave dropped onto you followed by the Hero's Landing. Because now all of a sudden did you get bursted super hard, but now you can't move for a couple seconds, nor can you kill the enemy team. They've gotten a big old shield on them. So yeah, it's a great point. I think Galio would be fantastic here, and it's still up. Glaive could first pick it. Caitlyn is not on the table, but Ashe is, so we might see the Ashe first pick as well. See if they go.
Yeah, Caitlyn is the pretty much obligatory red side ban. The champion is just so ridiculously strong right now. It's pretty much a perma ban, but only on red side, unless you're Cloud9, in which case you banded blue side. Glaive go with the Lucian pick, and I love this as a first because it's so flexible. You can go top, mid, 80 carry, and right now Revenge Nation have to pick something, and they don't know who's going against what.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm not really sure. I think what I like most about the Lucian, this depends, very much on who on your team can play Lucian. But the thing I like most about the Lucian pick is that you don't have to decide where it's going until the draft is completed, right? I mean, you can go bot, go mid, go top. Whoever can play Lucian can take it after you've drafted it. So it's a very safe B1, but normally we see B1 used to pick something that's super OP. Now, Lucian's pretty good. I don't know if I would first pick it, but Glaive have decided to here. See what else they go for. Evelyn, kind of bizarre, Doctor. What's happening?
They're just putting the pieces together. Evelyn, just crazy strong as well. We've seen it be played a lot of it competitively in these last couple weeks. Absolutely deleting people from the face of the planet. Comboing that with a Galio is super tricky too, because post 6 Evelyn's invisible. It can be very easy to sneak into somebody's backline, and if you can get behind them just far enough that you can call in the Galio heroic entrance, and all of a sudden you completely cut off any chance of escape. So that's a super deadly combination. Revenge Nation, though, picking up the Twisted Fate to answer. I do like it. It was banned away in the first game, so it is something they were not given access to. With it being banned away and now being picked last rotation before the second phase of ban phase, we're going to need to see some really big production coming out of that champion.
And here is probably the red side dream, is banning Galen away and then getting to pick Ashe as well. There still is no bot lane pick here. Well, actually, I guess Lucian could be bot lane. I mean, at this point with the Galio pick, it might even be assured that the Lucian is going bot lane. But to my mind, I think Lucian is a solo laner right now. So that was my gut reaction anyway. It's an interesting R1 here. Yeah, it could be Galio support. You got lots of options here. But Revenge Nation with the R1 Trundle, I think this might be a mistake. I think this is giving license to Glaive to just pick tons of carries. Obviously, there's nothing about Trundle that would make you want to pick carries. It would just definitely push you off of tanks, right? You don't want to pick a ton of tanks into Trundle. Doesn't say you can't pick one or two, but and we kind of see that with the draft, right? I mean, Lucian to Evelyn to Galio, there's a lot of damage coming out of this team, and the tankiest one amongst them is Galio. Galio is really a tank. He's like an AP tank. So, it's a little strange to see Trundle first picked, but this might just be a comfort pick for this team.
Yeah, with it being first rotation, leads me to believe that whether it's going top or jungle, it is a absolute comfort pick being picked up. They want to make whoever it's going for as absolutely comfortable as possible. After that game 1, I can imagine a little shakiness coming through. It wasn't exactly the cleanest game coming out from Revenge. Unfortunately, they were kind of brute forced through, thanks to just how overwhelmingly that Camille pick ended up being. An Ornn pick means it is jungle Trundle. Technically, quote unquote, it could be support Trundle, but it has been a seriously long time since I saw that.
Support Trundle would be one heck of a flex in this situation, but I tend to agree. I mean, we saw Revenge Nation go for the first in game 1, kind of the meta. They first picked Hecarim. We said it was a great pick, that they would have a lot of success with it, and they did. I mean, the Hecarim was super big, but they still lost, right? And they lost primarily through objective control, and that all starts with the jungler, right? At the end of the day, if your jungler is hyper fed, but the enemy team has Ocean Soul, it does not matter what your jungler did during the game. They got out jungler. It's the hard truth, right? Now they're going into this, they're thinking, all right, we tried the meta, it didn't work. Maybe we'll try Trundle this time because we're a little bit more comfortable with it. And we'll see how it works out for him. But Ezreal into Blitzcrank, and an interesting lane to be sure. I don't think support has been picked yet. It's a little strange considering we're on R5, but hovering Taric so far. This would be pretty good into Blitzcrank Ezreal, I would feel.
Yeah, so the counter pick support meta is something that we saw a lot in the LEC playoffs. The European League does have a ton of extremely talented supports, and there are some pretty hard matchups for supports right now. And as we can see here, they get a pretty good one. Ashe Taric is It's a little wonky, just because you are in a very low range matchup. You do need to get extremely close to make things happen, and it is pretty reliant on the Tarek making plays happen post or pre six. After six, you can let the Ash engage and then follow it up with a dazzle, and the invulnerability is going to be very critical in this game because of the just option of having one of your carries getting just caught out and deleted. My biggest concern with the Tarek is the time to kill of the Glaives team. They kill everybody lightning quick. Ezreal, Lucian, Evelyn, you blink and you're dead. And so there is the potential for there simply not to be enough time for the Tarek ultimate to be used effectively, unless they are on the engaging side. If they are the ones going to the wall, then yeah, perfect. It can, enable them to dive towers they may not otherwise be able to dive. It may be able them to start awkward dragon fights or baron fights, and it can enable a lot of things. But as a reactionary tool, it potentially is useless in this game.
Exactly, right? And like you mentioned, the coin goes both ways. Not only do you have this very short-term tool to block damage that can just be waited out and or, anticipated and the damage drop before the ability, but also if Glaive drops a bunch of damage on Revenge Nation at one time and that Tarek ult procs at the same moment, all of a sudden Glaive doesn't have much. The True Shot Barrage and Evelyn ults are all coming through on targets that are untargetable. Yikes, that's not good, right? So it definitely is going to be an easier time for Glaive to be sure, but there's a little bit of counterplay available for Revenge Nation. But yeah, I agree. I'm not in love with the Tarek pick. Nautilus was up. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm a believer in the Nautilus Blitzcrank matchup. Lean towards Nautilus. I know a lot of people feel elsewise, but I certainly don't. I think it's very Nautilus favored. But enough about a champion that isn't going to be in this game. We got Ornn and Lucian up in the top side of the map here, which I think leaves, Ezreal down the bot side. Yeah, okay, makes a lot of sense. I guess Galio wouldn't have been top lane. What do you sell? This is going to be Ornn into Lucian, and this feels pretty bad. I would say for Zeko. I don't think this is going to be a good time.
Yeah, this is definitely a case of misreading the draft. As we're heading into the second half here, we have Lucian, Evelyn, Galio. Looking at this, I felt pretty comfortable calling it a Lucian top. Like you said, Lucian is a solo laner at the moment. You generally aren't going to see him down on the bottom side. And Revenge Nation respond by banning away Misfortune and Kaisa, which means they also believed it's not a Lucian 80 carry. And so the only thing left is for it to go top. And so Ornn, crazy strong on the top side, really good at surviving bad matchups, does have a lot of kill potential on some of what people would call counters to him. But heading him into Lucian is so tough. So tough. The Lucian range advantage comboing with what I'm presuming is going to be press the attack and the just instant ability to proc that whenever you want means that Ornn is going to be so shoved off the wave. And because you have such a strong AP jungler in the Evelyn, it makes itemization for Zeko basically impossible, because he wants to build the Sunfire Cape to keep the wave clear. He wants to build the Bramble Vest to make sure that Lucian can't just lifesteal through anything Ornn can do. But then all of a sudden Evelyn comes top, maybe combo that with a Galio, two massive ability power threats, and all of a sudden he's left with no magic resist, no way to survive the incredible burst from the Evelyn alone, let alone an additional target, and he just is constantly under his tower, trying to stay alive, trying to be the best utility tank for his team. And I don't know, it's incredibly difficult to try and see how it works out. Granted, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what they would have picked that would have had a good time here unless you go carry for carry. But that's a huge risk in this type of series.
Exactly, and you made the comment at the start of game one that you expect Revenge Nation to put Zeko on tank duty, and I agreed. I mean, if there's a big rank discrepancy in a lane, especially top lane, you just nullify that whole lane and make sure that that enemy top laner never matters in the game. It's difficult when you throw in an early game, on hit ADC because they're just going to eat tanks alive, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess Ornn is kind of best case scenario here for Zeko. I don't think it's like over for him. We saw Zeko playing game one very conservatively, freezing the wave right outside turret, playing under turret all game. If they do that again, I think they'll be fine. My biggest issue is that Lucian can snowball a little bit harder than Camille can. It doesn't burn quite as long as Camille does, but I mean, if Dibble gets a couple solo kills, they can really run away with this game.
Yeah, and this is almost a game where I would have liked to see them run back the Poppy. I'm not 100% on the Galio Heroes Entrance versus Stalwart Presence in Erection, because I'm not 100% sure what Galio's ultimate is classified as in regards to dash, blink, jump in so much. But the Poppy does bring a lot of the same utility from game one back into game two, and it would have given you that long range, potential minion killing auto attack to, at least keep yourself in experience range, if not, minor gold range. Whereas the Ornn has to be absolutely front and center, duking it out to fight for these minions.
For sure. So maybe a similar matchup to game one, maybe a little bit more Dibble favored this go around. But in the mid lane, couple of mid laners that like to roam. We got Twisted Fate's going to hit the ult, can see everybody and teleport to them. Galio, meanwhile, can teleport reasonably quickly to his team within a certain range. So a couple of very solid roaming global presence mid laners. I think in a vacuum between these two champions, I like Twisted Fate a little bit. I think he's very, very strong right now, especially if you're good with the cards, man. If you get the right card at the right time, you're gold. And normally you're going to want that blue card, I think, the majority of the time. But anyway, I'll leave that up to Arisen. I don't play Twisted Fate. So I'm excited about this matchup. This should be pretty good. I think it's really going to come down to whoever supports their team better. And that's an exciting thing to see in a lane, is those early skirmishes, rolling those into objectives, all that good stuff. But yeah, this should be a pretty good one. We are into the loading screen now. We're looking at these summoner spells and keystones here. And Arisen is on Ghost this time. Got the Flash Ghost going on.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying last game, the Flash Ghost phenomenon is pretty singular to Twisted Fate and Victor right now. The Unsealed Spellbook does give him some maneuverability in that regards. He can, swap for Ignite or Barrier, Teleport, whatever seems to be fitting the required situation at that time. Again, I'm just going to put it out there. Phase Rush, really strong at the moment. Does let you get in and out of a lot of things, in my opinion. But no, Unsealed Spellbook gives you so much versatility that it is pretty standard for Twisted Fates to be able to pick that up. Ghost is going to let him maneuver around the Galio very effectively. Pop that, get out of a taunt, get out of a Justice Punch, and, continue the fight on your terms. Just really good usage there. Also, again, roaming potential. Pop Ghost, pop Destiny, get into that lane and be much quicker on the jump than people would typically expect you. Because they expect the Twist of Fate to come in all slow and lumbering and, throw a card out maybe, if he has time in his day to do so. And all of a sudden you come out with the Ghost and you're just Lightning McQueen and you're just stunning people, killing people, moving on with your day, collecting the bounties. So I do like Twist of Fate, like you said, it's a really strong pick. Personally, I do give a little bit of the edge over to Galio, though. And I'm going to probably say this at least one more time tonight, but ease of execution. The champion is so straightforward. Q, auto attack a wave, and is pushing against your opponent. If your teammate gets in a bad spot, with the buff to his ultimate, he now brings in that magic damage shield for his teammate as well, and into a pretty decently heavy magic damage composition. That is almost too much to give up.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good for him. Galio kind of legendary for dealing with mages as well. That's going to be an obstacle that Ariz is going to have to climb this game, but it's going to be Revenge Nation looking for the anti-invade positioning there. And there's no initial invade from Glaive, but they do drop the late invade. They're going to walk over vision here, almost all of Glaive, but at this point, there's just no way for them to respond no way for them to respond, excuse me, as the jungle camps are going to spawn here in just a couple seconds. So this should be red going over to Glaive. I would imagine that Iconic just walks in enemy jungle after this blue and takes red, but we'll have to see. Definitely needs his support from his lanes if he's going to do something like that.
Trundle, super good at stealing away jungle camps. I've known people in the past who start on the opponent's opposite buff. This time would have ended disastrously considering the entirety of Glaive was there waiting for him. Oh, man, that's crazy quick.
Yeah, Kiva has to flash out of here as the gang comes through for Issei. Gonna eat a gold card. And I gotta say, probably not worth the early gank on Arisen. Just gonna go ahead and say that right now. Having to burn flash on the bot side. Unfortunate for him, but hey, man, you live by the cheese, you die by the cheese. And now it's Issei. Might find Iconic here, but Iconic's already got the red buff. He's already good to go. Is he gonna see Blitzcrank? Nope, gonna walk out of there entirely. So nothing to gain from that scenario. Bongo gave Reckoning here, just shoving the waves in.
Yeah, so strong start from both sides. They do split the map jungle-wise. Pretty standard stuff when you have full knowledge of that situation. It was a really smart ward coming out from Revenge Nation. Even though they didn't see personally the late invade coming in, they still had the idea that it was going to happen. So the late ward lets them know exactly what's going on, make sure that their jungler doesn't get 3-buffed and fall uber behind. And because of how quick jungle camps respawn, is going to be on an even keel with Evelyn so far.
Jungler's going fairly even here as Iconic finishes that camp. Basically a half camp is what Demon is ahead right now. Not a huge lead, but hey, there it is.
Yeah, they're going to trade Scuttle Crabs, which is really important because it doesn't leave one jungler too far ahead. If one jungler were to get both Scuttle Crabs, it's a massive advantage both in experience and a little bit of gold. And so they can really skyrocket that into...
Yeah, flash there from Kakari. Does not land the taunt onto Arisen, who flashes themselves to escape the gank from Demon.
Yeah,
So
quick
flash
trigger
is
figures
traded. Yeah.
from Arisen.
Oh, Iconic finds Demon, but who's finding who? Yeah, Demon looking to charm up the Trundle. And now Kakari's in with the Justice Punch, gets a taunt onto both enemies. Iconic flashes over the wall. Risen with the gold card onto Demon is going to mean him and his junglers get the escape from that situation. But, man, that was a close one, Doctor.
Yeah, that was crazy good for Demon. Being able to get the charm even after getting pillared up, forces the walk back just enough for Iconic that Kakari says, wait, we can do this, we got this. And Issei not being in position quick enough means no rocket grab gonna come out and secure a kill, and they do force Iconic back into the jungle, barely surviving with his life, having to smite the minion to try and stay alive. And now we do see a little bit more of a lead coming out for Demon right now.
Yep, got about a camp and a half where before it was a half camp. And that dragon spawning just now is going to be the mountain dragon. Neither jungler really anywhere near taking that. Evelyn physically near it, but not really able to solo, I don't think. Demon going to be looking for the gank onto a bongo. And Reckoning is going to find it. Issei steps forward. The charm, flash from a bongo. Charm does not land. Reckoning taking so much damage. The hook comes out. He'll use to save the Taric. And the bongo with some damage there at the end of the gank.
Probably the most successful gank we've seen all night. Blows all 4 summoner spells from the Revenge Nation bot side. Easy target to come back and do that again. The absolute amazing gank assist from Issei just by existing. Didn't blow Ignite, didn't have to blow Flash, just ran at them straight up, and forces all of that type of utility away. With how the Ezreal can set up this lane. If they can crash it now, they'll get a pretty good backing. They will have enough to pick up a pickaxe. If they stay for another wave, they'll be able to get pickaxe and tier. But for right now, I think you can do pretty well with just a pickaxe.
Yep, topside ult channel there from Zeko is going to be flashed by Dibble. And Twisted taking a channel ult going for the bot side as Iconic finishes the dragon. Arisen, just enough time to run away as Kakari channels that teleport to answer the realm. Yeah, close one. Dibble going to use Cull. Zeko dodges most of that damage. Things getting pretty close in this top lane, Doctors. Not a lot of resources left. Zeko regenning mana a little bit faster than Lucian, though. Might have a bit of an edge. He's going to take the reset, though.
Demon, buddy oh pal.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, but here's Kakari. Gets a taunt down to Idacon. The card is going to pick up the kill of the demon on the end of that one, though. And now Idacon's running for the hills, but here's Zeko to put a stop to Kakari's escape here. And Arisen picks up that kill there, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 trade in favor this time of Revenge Nation, and that's pretty big, Doctor. They actually have a little bit of a gold lead.
Yeah, this is probably a best case scenario for Arisen. Wasn't able to get a couple early kills on the Azir last time. Is now pretty close to being able to complete his Rod of Ages. I believe he needs about another 100 gold, so he shouldn't be able to get it before backing, I believe. Mathematically, I could be wrong though, and it is indeed a fact that I am wrong. Math is not my strong suit on broadcast.
Mine either, Doctor. In fact, most things aren't my strong suit on broadcast. Now in the bot lane is a little bit of a CS. What's the word for things that are going even? I don't know.
Parallel?
Bit of a parallel. That's a great word. Wow. Yeah, you're good with the words. Parallel down the bot lane. Things just so even at the moment. Pickaxe and tier for Ezreal. BF sword for a bongo on Ashe. And yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a boring lane down there, unless there's any kind of jungle intervention. Too much going on, but both sides just hit 6, so maybe that's all about to change. Demon looking for the Raptors as yeah, it's gonna get interrupted, Kakari. I don't know what you're trying to do there.
It's just bait. It's
not gonna work. Yeah, it's bait. Oh man, Evelyn comes flying out of the jungle.
Oh man,
oh,
that'd be scary.
Hook goes wide on a bongo. Got the quick feet there. But
let's talk about bot lane a little bit with the aggression. We've seen an evolution from the bot lane Ashe as of late. They used to start Trinity. Oh man, that YouTube video really caused a lot of nightmares for me a while back.
Same.
But we saw the Blade of the Rune King into Hurricane, into Infinity Edge or Essence Reaver Ashe previously, and it's now evolved into the Essence Reaver first. They're putting a lot of stock into having that enchanted crystal arrow up more often and up earlier, and so it does give you this very earlier spike from the Ashe than typical of the Blade of the Rune King Brunan's Hurricane style. And when you have such slippery champions like Ezreal coming back into the meta, Evelyn in the meta, Lucian in the meta, you want to be able to lock these champions down as early and as often as possible.
Certainly. It's also enabling them to go for more of a build like this when Arisen is doing so on the mid lane, right? I mean, normally Ashe would be looking to be something not only just with utility, but also with tons of, we say, just gets an easy hook there onto Arisen. No way to dodge. Now it's Demon with the charm gonna flash away from Demon's ult that almost certainly would have killed them there, Doctor.
Yeah, it does get bonus damage when you get to low HP, and just, again, lightning quick trigger finger from that flash on Arisen. Saved him before, saved him again. It'll probably do it at least one more time tonight as well. He's ready to stay alive at this point. He's not ready to go down just yet into the deep, dark beyond. And that's quite a bit being burned from the, support jungle duo of Glaive. They do force the ignite, which means they have less kill pressure into the bottom side. They blow the ultimate from the Evelyn, which is pretty low cooldown with that Runic Echoes completed. So it will be up again shortly. And Flash is a 5-minute cooldown. That is not coming back anytime soon.
It certainly isn't. They just got their perfectly timed stop launch up. Arisen did. They also have Ghosts, so still a couple tools to be able to get out of ganks, but those tools are starting to grow thin here. The Rift Herald did fall to Iconic just a bit ago, as now they, in Game 2, have unmatched objective control here, where before it belonged to Demon. We'll see if that nets them a victory as the game progresses, but next Dragon is spawning. It's going to be an Ocean.
Which means we'll be getting either a Cloud or an Infernal for our big soul at the end of the day. Iconic wanted to get it on spawn, but...
Ooh, here comes Kakari with the ult in, and Iconic saying so much damage. He's arisen to save them, though, with the ultimate of them. Oh, and Iconic very low, less than 100 health now, but the Twisted Fate is looking for the kills. The triple kill is available. Bongo, a little bit hesitant to go for it. It's a lot of enemy champions. Demon taking so much damage from Risen here with the cards coming out up in the top lane. Zeko just almost getting demolished by Dibble. That was a close one. Just a couple more shots from Cull and the Ornn would have been in the dirt, but now it's looking like Revenge Nation will be able to pick up this dragon. We'll see if they can get it uncontested as Demon is pathing towards this dragon. Can they do anything about this? Nope, but they're gonna kill the Taric probably. Nope, the flash comes out, saving Taric's life as well, and this time Ovango is gonna get the kill onto Demon, who was just up a little bit too far there. Flashes come out of pretty much every single member of Revenge Nation there, but pretty worth, I'll go ahead and say. That was a good play for Revenge.
Yeah, being able to pick up the second dragon, giving you a good pace for the Dragon Soul, especially when it's something as critical as the Infernal Soul, is pretty much uncalled for. You get so much value out of it. Being able to pick up a kill onto your carry, as well as also massive when it is this heavy spike Ashe, should be able to go back and complete their Essence Reaver very soon. We're on 900 gold right now, so not quite, but it's getting a little bit closer every second.
Absolutely. Zeko itemizing appropriately, like we talked about. Got all the armor he could possibly ask for, and this time a Brandle Bass. Demon looking for a kill in the bot lane. I don't think you're going to find that. It's been difficult to gank this lane so far, with good reason. That Ashe is a gnarly gank. I don't care who the support is for this champion. I don't gank him. I don't do it, Doctor. I'm a jungle.
You just don't gank Ashe?
You got an Ashe. That's rough, dude. Hey, man, I feel for you, but I'm not getting Enchanted Crystal arrowed under tower. And there's the arrow. And then, as we say, the stun to follow up. Kiva's going to flash Arcane Shift. This is just not enough damage from this Taric, from this Ashe yet. And yeah, you got to complete Essence Reaver. You need that power spike, I think, if you're going to really capitalize on the CC coming out of the spot lane.
Yeah, and with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow already on a decent cooldown, it's only 90 seconds at rank 1, which is, every minute and a half you have to worry about it. I don't know how many people often count to 90, but it's very short. It's something I learned in driving school, is every time you get to a light turning red, count up, and it's generally going to be less than 60 seconds. And so, just double that or so, and that's how many times you got to worry about getting stunned up by a giant arrow.
Yeah, it's not really something that you want to be dealing with all the time. But, ooh, a hook comes out, goes wide. That's pretty close. Iconic playing with fire on the bot side. True Shot Barrage, I think I saw. Maybe I missed that. The camera was up on the top side, but I saw the... Yeah, it's on cooldown. I don't know what that was going for, but it didn't look like it was going towards anything. Maybe trying to reset it back or something like that. But Demon has the red taken away, as Glaive just continues to lose map pressure. And it is a bit of a jungle diff, I guess. I mean, Demon definitely has the damage to deal with 1 or 2 members of Revenge Nation. They're not particularly behind or anything like that, but when it comes to 2 or 3, then, the problems start for the champion at that point.
Yeah, this is what you get when you have priority from your lanes, because of how easily Twisted Fate can push the lane out and how much control is currently going for Revenge Nation to the bottom side. They can get more strong plays out of their jungler. Iconic can force more things because he can reasonably expect his team to be able to respond quicker and not have to worry about losing a lot. They can, shove a wave out, roam. They don't need to worry about being permanently shoved in under tower and having to dodge skill shots.
Ooh, Issei steps forward, gets the hook on Arisen, who immediately goes golden, dodging the taunt. He's going to get hit by the Justice Punch, though. Has the gold card. Still shuffling, though. Going to throw the blue card on the wave instead. And yeah, close one there, but Issei providing just a little bit of pressure there in the mid lane. We'll see if Obongo gave Reckoning go for the 2v1. They have the arrow up, but you gotta hit it. So you gotta be sure that the Arcane Shift isn't coming out. They're gonna run up the river, look for the vision. Gotta get some of that safety. I imagine they're going in very soon. We'll see if they go. Maybe
I'm
not.
kind of torn because you're right. If they can land the skill shot and get a kill here with Dragon in 40 seconds, that's a huge play. They can then try and force Vision into their control. They can then set up for the Trundle to come in, close out maybe on the tower, or even just deeper Vision around the Dragon. Whereas if they save it for the next 20 seconds or so, they can use it as an engage tool to absolutely secure the Dragon, especially if they can land it onto Demon or even Kakari, and really set up just this giant CC train onto an opponent that's very critical to the Dragon.
For sure. Dragon in 10 seconds now as it spawns. By the way, Infernal Soul on Summoner's Rift for Game 2. The knock-on from Issei goes down on the Reckoning, who channels the stun immediately, but Cosmic Radiance is also channeled, protecting for a little bit. Here comes Kakari on the ult, going to land the taunt on 2 members. Iconic going down to Kakari there on the Galio, but the Glaive health bars are starting to look very slight. Obongo in with the damage, takes down one. Down goes another. Kakari goes down there. And all of a sudden, Obongo looking very good. They're going to disengage, though, as we cut to the top side. I think Zeko and Dibble are duking it out up there. Obongo is healing up. Did have a couple pots there, getting, I believe, heals from Tarek as well. Yeah, some healing there. And yeah, Obongo, I believe, almost has as much health as Kiba does. So maybe they look to go in on the Ezreal here. Yeah, they did use arrow in that fight, so both ults.
Yeah. It was very late in the fight, and it connected directly on to Kakari. It actually killed him, basically, after an amazing counter engage from Kakari right there at the end. Had a Justin's punch into immediate Idol of Durand to taunt up Obongo, who potentially could have gotten even more out of that situation. We are going to see Iconic get the Dragon started up for him by the enemy support, but he doesn't have priority. His bot lane was forced to back, so he now has to contend with way more members of the blue side than he would like to.
Definitely seems that way. Issei misses the hook. Kiba, in kind, misses all the skill shots, but now they're going to start up the Dragon. They have all 5 members here.
Top lane was involved for the first time.
Yeah. Here's Zeko, gonna miss the ult as the taunt comes down. Down goes the Ornn almost immediately. The Dragon goes down to the Evelynn as well. Now Wrecking is on the run. So is the Revenge Nation. Taking so much damage is Glaive. Now the arrow goes wide, but it's a volley into Glaive. And yikes, down goes Iconic as well. Bongo's still pretty healthy though. Can they turn this fight around solo? No, they cannot. Reckoning gonna be on the back end. Can Kiba finish it off? He can. So much damage from this Ezreal here, Doctor. That was just a crazy fight.
These fights are so crazy close. If Obongo had a completed Renan's Hurricane there, I think he gets a penta. Like, everybody in that funnel was so low. Like, 200 HP each type of low. And it looked right at the end there, he got that situation where, like, you know when you accidentally click on the mini-map because you're trying to path towards that side of the map, and your character just says, oh, I'm needed in top lane? Yeah, let me just run there real quick. And all of a sudden your life goes gray screen. That's pretty much what happened to Obongo, it looked like. And that's a tough situation. Zeko not able to land both halves of the Ornn call meant that there was a lot of crowd control missing from that type of team fight. They could have potentially swayed it their way. The rest of the fight pretty front to back coming out from Glaive Esports. They know exactly what they need to do, and that hurts.
The hook onto Arisen. It's going to take some damage here, but the ult from Issei is not going to be enough. Calling to Zeko. Zeko's just going to eat this one. Doesn't even try to step aside. He flashes straight back. Q comes out for the slow. Is he gone? He's gone here, Doctor.
Yeah, you get so much more value from armor in the Lucian matchup versus the Camille matchup. Lucian not having true damage as a key component of his kit means he has to work a little bit harder to get that kill.
Yeah, just a little bit harder. Almost as hard as Iconic's going to have to work. to stop this tower from going down, which is very hard. Kakari, now as the
big
wave is
play.
gone, he's going to go down to turret. Arisen getting devoured there under turret by Demon, who ults out, escaping the turret. And yeah, I mean, that's just too much damage there, Doctor.
Yeah, Demon showing off why we've been seeing Evelyn so much more recently. Just, you know, top-notch damage output, being able to get out of a bad situation with the ultimate as well. Very versatile. You know, one of the biggest downfalls of previous Evelyns was that control wards and pink wards were more universal. Oh man, Kiba.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. The burn eventually taking down Kiba, who otherwise just got super bursted there by the majority of Revenge Nation, who I guess just had a fantastic gank opportunity there. But now Iconic, with the priority they got from bot lane, is looking into the enemy jungle and not going to find anything. Yeah, that was pretty wild there, Doctor.
Yeah, it's the power of wards. You know, if you catch your opponent snoozing on one, it's pretty much guaranteed when you just have that much crowd control. And Arisen.
Ooh, a lot of CC down to Arisen this time, but man, it's just Demon over and over this time. Finished off. Oh, actually, no. Picked up by Demon there. I figured it would be the Winds of War that got it, but no. It's going to be the Evelyn.
Yeah, I believe it was the red buff burn right at the end. They're starting Baron. They kill the enemy mid laner at 22 minutes, and they're like, you know what? Let's kill the big purple worm.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, Doctor, but it's going down pretty quick, all things considered. And now it's going to be the fight. Double taunt on Iconic and Reckoning, and also the knockup from Issei. The hero's entrance from Galio, from Kakari. Kiba with the True Shot Barrage onto Revenge Nation, and now Reckoning goes down. There's just too many skill shots. Zeko looking for the backside, the flank there. He does not survive his attempt there. And now Glaive, it's kind of a free Baron at this point. Iconic is going to look to contest. He has a Blast Cone, but Issei is about to take that away from him. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, you got to take it from him. Oh, okay. Obongo just gets deleted by the Ezreal damage, and the advantages are starting to thin here for Revenge Nation.
The Kiba damage is absurd. This is it.
Oh, he stole it. The dream. He flashes the wall. Just a little bit greedy there. Nah, you don't survive those suicide missions. Trundle, and yeah, they do steal the Baron. For what it's worth, it's on 2 members. But, you know, it's worth something, right?
Yeah, I think that type of hero play is exactly what Revenge Nation needs. They do get it onto their mid lane and their support. Support, probably not for much longer, though.
Yeah, that Tarek is not long for this world. He goes down to the Kiba damage, but lays a lot down onto Issei, you know, does their due diligence. And it is just the 2 dragons that evaded Iconic as far as objective control. Taunt onto Arisen. And yeah, I mean, Kiba's just absolutely deleting everything. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow came out. I believe it went wide. I cut away briefly, but now Dibble looking for the bot turret.
Kiba's playing the type of Ezreal that when you see it on the enemy team, you're like, wow, that's a lot of damage. Why does my Ezreal not do that much damage? He upped it into the Trinity Force this game, whereas when we saw Obongo on it last game, he had the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Sorry, a lot of... Oh, actually, Kiba might be in trouble. What am I saying? He's just going to delete Iconic. Dibble now looking for Zeko. Ult's going to be traded, but the Call of the Forge God's going to go wide here. Well, the second part of it anyway, the knockup part. Dibble is going to have to back off with the threat of Revenge Nation members hunting them down. Speaking of getting hunted down, Iconic is not in a great position. He's going to chain these blast cones together, though. The teleport, empowered movement speed from Kakari is going to mean the double taunt for the Galio. And still nobody going down there. There's just not enough damage in the area, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the Ornn is crazy tanky. Has an upgraded Sunfire Cape, has the Bramble Vest, Negatron Cloak. He's suited to the nines. He is ready to survive just about everything, given that it happens in about 4 to 8 seconds. Once we start getting into 10 seconds of continuous damage, even Ornn's going to be at a bit of a struggle, and that is exactly where Dibble's Lucian and Kiba's Ezreal are really going to shine in these really prolonged fights. The problem is Kiba also shines in these very short fights. Landing 1 or 2 Mystic shots and chunking them for 300 damage each, that is incredibly high damage at this stage of the game. Nobody really having that much armor, if any, outside of the Ornn as well.
Absolutely. Dibble still looking to do damage on Zeko. While this Lucian has no kills and also has no deaths and the most CS in the game. And it is Glaive laying siege to Revenge Nation now. They take the inner mid turret. There's no real epic monster objectives on the map for quite some time. I believe it's 2.5 minutes on Dragon, 3 on Baron. So it's just these structures that Glaive are looking for now.
Yeah, and it is a little rough right now for Revenge Nation. They do have the tools to bring it back. They do need to start funneling a little bit more gold into Zeko. Has been Flame Horizoned by Dibble, and so not feeling super tanky just yet.
Oh, Issa might be getting picked here as the arrow comes out. And wow, Demon kills Zeko somehow. I didn't think that was possible, but one rotation from Demon's going to spell the end. And I guess, yeah, Zeko's just stacking the armor. He didn't have as much MR. Now Risen. Onto Kakari. Poking him down with autos. This is AP Twisted Fate, as they all should be. And it's just not going to be enough damage to take down the Galio there.
Yeah, we can see Galio has been maxing his Idle Durant second, which means his magic shield is getting bigger. It's actually rank 5 already, so it's as big as it's going to get. But it is a massive shield. And for somebody who's a little bit more focused around constant DPS, like the Twisted Fate, it's going to be really difficult for him to try and burst through that shield. We're even seeing, some critical strikes coming through as the Twisted Fate is going for the rapid fire cannon to help with these potential engage opportunities with the bonus range there. It is pretty standard. We saw Bjergsen use it to great effect in not the series against Team Liquid or FlyQuest, but in the Cloud9 one. And so it's super strong when it works. When you are a little bit further behind like this, I think I would have preferred him to go Zonya's Hourglass second, because he can then potentially survive the Evelyn a little bit more. But Dibble right now is just absolutely taking over this game.
Yep, Dibble trying to escape now. Kakari gonna get the 3-man ult. Gonna get the 3-man taunt as well, but is there any follow-up? Glaive says probably not. Kakari's gonna go straight down. Cosmic Radiance channel from Reckoning. It's going to save Zeko briefly, but True Shot Barrage is going to burst down Reckoning, and down goes Zeko. They're looking for a bongo now. Oh, the hook goes wide, actually, and Isai is stunned up under turret. I think this might be the end of the game here, Doctor. I'm not sure if Revenge Nation can defend. I think, yeah, they're leaving now.
They do have a ton of wave clear.
Yeah. It drags up, too, so...
So this is one of the best Dragon starts you can get as a team who didn't win the early game. We are seeing Glaive Esports being given the opportunity to get quadruple Infernal Soul, which, with how much damage they're already doing, is pretty insurmountable. There are not many, if any at all, champions, really, that would be able to survive quadruple Infernal Soul Evelyn rotation. I honestly can't think of any champions outside of maybe Galio that would even come close, and that's simply because he gets an artificial magic shield for a couple hundred HP on top of his normal tank stats.
Yeah, you'd be looking for something like a spell shield or something at that point to at least dodge like one of those abilities, but yeah, it's going to be difficult nonetheless. And it's not just Evelyn, right? I mean, it's also the Lucian and the Ezreal in the late game too, and Obongo just straight down the ult from Demon. It's just too much. Dibble looking for Zeko now. Not going to quite find them. This Ornn is pretty slippery, especially in the late game. You mentioned the upgraded Sunfire Cape, so quite a bit of resistance is coming through. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, Iconic did so well with the objective control. just to kind of lose Dragon Soul in the end anyway. And I mean, he stole the first Baron, but it's looking like he's not going to get so lucky with the second one. Hook on Iconic. Might just give him a path to steal here. Nope, not going to be allowed to flash over the wall. And Glaive are going to finish this Baron off uncontested.
So we're looking at Baron buff, which does give some stats. We're at triple Infernal Drake right now, and we have a 24 stack Mejai's onto Demon. Demon is really feeling themselves this game. Had a really shaky early game, but has completely come into it as the game has progressed. Has done a massive job at working to carry the team and take over team fights, and has been very crucial in a lot of these pick plays that have really secured them a lot.
Ooh, Hook on a Reckoning. Cosmic Radiance channeled immediately onto 4 members. Isai actually going down a rare win for Revenge Nation, but trade back immediately onto Obago Risen, taking all the damage there is, and that burst is insane. The Twisted Fate almost going down immediately, but yeah, they're just putting the squeeze on our Revenge Nation now here, Doctor. It's all Glaive all the time. The pillar comes out in a desperate attempt to stop the onslaught, but there's just too many minions. And here it is, the dive in. All the damage from Kakari, all the damage from Demon, and it's just Iconic left on the end. And yeah, a little poetic there. It's just Iconic at the end of the fight, but yeah, Glaive win a convincing game 2 here.
Yeah, that was a really strong showing from them. They picked a lot of win harder champions. So once they were able to get a lead, because they didn't have the lead initially, it was a really good showing from Revenge Nation to win the early game to a degree. However, once that lead from Glaive started peaking, started coming into play, their champions just do so well with, you know, an incremental lead that they can really stretch it into a mile. You were very on it about Dibble's Lucian. The champion just does so much in that top side, spikes so early because of that press the attack and Blade of the Ruin King start that we typically see, and just completely ran away with it. You know, his scoreline isn't as impressive as some of the other members of his team at 1-0 and 11, but it shows that he was involved in a lot of teamwork and just did his job, ending the game with 341 CS, probably absolute most damage to objectives and turrets as well, bar nobody. Yeah, the only person with any more damage to objectives than him was actually just about everybody. I'm reading my graphs wrong. But damage to turrets, he had 8,000 damage to turrets. The next closest was Ezreal at 5,000, and the entirety of Revenge Nation, unfortunately, only had about 1,500 damage to towers that entire game.
Just not a lot of opportunity for them to push those structural objectives there. But yeah, Dibble really got the econ victory on this one. Didn't go for the religious or martial victory, but man, 341, it's a lot. That is a lot, but I'm not actually sure what the final count on this game length was. Yeah, 32. So he, I guess, did better than 10 CS per minute. Am I doing that math wrong?
Yeah, he's at
32
like
minutes, 341?
10.2 roughly, yeah.
Crazy. Just crazy. Not really sure how that happened, but I guess, you make it happen when you're Lucian top. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so many things from Revenge Nation looked really promising in this early game. You had a Risen who got the early double kill. That was huge for them. Obongo looked pretty good for the majority of this game. I think the Essence Reaver first hurt them a little bit. There was a couple times where they actually nailed Kiba with the full-on Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the Taric stun, and they just didn't kill him. Like, they didn't have the damage. So it was kind of like, hey, this is on a shorter cooldown, but if we're not killing anybody when we're doing it, even when we land everything we possibly can, there's no point, right? So yeah, I guess maybe going for a little bit heavier on the damage build might have been a good idea for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything wrong with the Essence Reaver build. We talked about it in game. It's pretty standard fare. Does make a lot of sense to go at first because you do get a lot out of it. And so it is just the nature of Ezreal to be slippery. You can hit him with all the crowd control in the book, but if you give him 1 second to slip away, man, there's a reason he's the biggest explorer in Ruinterra.
Yeah, he gets out of there He gets out of there real quick. But we are going to go to a game 3 here, despite Glaive winning both of the games. We're kind of doing this for like tournament points, I guess, a little bit more. So we're going to play a game 3 here and give both teams another opportunity to get some more points for the Invitational. Before that, though, we are going to cut to a little bit of a break. Don't touch that dial. X87 for Excellence Esports, the midweight testing grounds tournament. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? X97. We're back at it with Excellency Esports Midway Testing Grounds tournament, and we're into game 3 here. This will be the final game that we broadcast tonight between these two teams, and it's Glaive Esports Black, Revenge Nation Turquoise, just like it has been all night. Glaive are up 2 games. Revenge Nation looking to answer back in the final game of the night. Can they do it? What do you think, Doctor? Give us the diagnosis.
They have the opportunity. They have the chance. I, once again, want to see them throw the entire draft in the bin and come out with something new. There's definitely still room in their playstyle to change it up a little bit. They don't seem too locked into an early, late style of gameplay. They do have the members to make it happen. They have the plays in their fingertips. They just got to get the right combination of magic to wisdom going for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Magic, wisdom, needs some of that intelligence and charisma as well, but it's going to be the new band that we've seen from Revenge Nation all night, but this time accompanied by Galio and Lucian as well. So the red side Caitlyn band comes through. Glaive, they just don't want Revenge Nation to play Caitlyn.
Yeah, and I do like the adaptation where they recognized that Galio and Lucian were both problematic for different reasons. Galio was banned in game 1, and they're like, yep, there was a reason for that one. But the Lucian in and of itself just ran it down the lane, was never in a position to have to not farm minions. We definitely saw just a good, solid Stardew Valley farm coming out there. And with the ban away, they do now need Glaive to do something else. I do expect Glaive to hold on to their counter pick for topside because they've been getting so much value out of it so far tonight. And they definitely noticed that has been one of their strong suits tonight.
Certainly has been. Glaive first picking Olaf in what can only be assumed to be an attempt at currying my favor. They have succeeded with the Olaf pick there, and it's a great R1, but it's a good any other pick as well. So how do you feel about this so far?
Olaf kind of fell off a map a little bit. He was seen everywhere. LCK, LPL, LEC. There was like 1 or 2 games of LCS as well, and then he just kind of disappeared, deeply into the fog off the horizon, as his people do. And so it is always nice to see him get picked back up. He brings a ton of mobility to the team and a lot of variety in potential jungle pathing. You can do a lot of awkward things and weird things that catch your opponents, sometimes your teammates, off guard, and really, curry favor and can gain advantage very quickly.
Yeah, something I always like to say about Olaf is it doesn't matter what your champion is good at. Olaf is very good at it too, so you have to pick champions that are very, very good at one thing and then capitalize on that to be able to beat them. Because if you're not really good at just farming the jungle, you won't out-farm. If you're not really good at objective control, you won't out-control objectives. I mean, just literally anything down the line a jungler can do, Olaf is pretty good at. So we're looking for things that are just incredible ganks, things like J4, things like maybe in the Elise, I guess, something like that, or things like Graves, Hecarim that could just hard farm the jungle over and over again. These are things that Olaf has a hard time dealing with, but we're in the final ban phase here, and Malphite taken away from Revenge Nation again. What's going on here? Does somebody play Malphite well or something like that? It's been banned every game, I think.
Malphite does play very well into the Glaive compositions that we've seen so far because they have been fairly attack damage heavy. The Lucian and the Camille topside really just fall apart when put up against the Olaf. And Glaive banning away just tanks. They're forcing a potential skill matchup. There are obviously still tanks. We do still see the Ornn, the Maokai available. So options are still there, but they're not as just stalwart walls that you get out of the Malphite and the Scion. Banning away the Renekton means it is another fighter bruiser gone. Glaive probably going to pick a mid laner here. Probably something, maybe the Orianna again. Oh, they actually... No, Axe, man, they didn't. It's the top Olaf.
It could be the top Olaf. It definitely could be, yeah. I would expect between the two, the Hecarim probably to go in the jungle. I would say Olaf is a better jungler, but that's because I think he's the best jungler in the game. But Revenge Nation over here, they got Echo. I think that's going mid. I don't really want to see the Echo into either of the junglers on Glaive's side. Maokai picked up for a top laner. I think they're looking for a mid laner here, but I hope they're looking for a jungler. We'll see what they got.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the Echo jungle right now is in a really weak spot. He has had his bright points in the past. He clears pretty effectively. He's not a slow clear by any means. He's not one of those AP junglers that are gimped by, either cooldowns or just outright AoE damage that we've seen in the past. He does do it very well. It is the jungle Echo. But again, it's not terrible.
Disagree.
All right, I am gonna follow this up with, I have played a ton of Echo Jungle through the years. I definitely do not think he's in a good spot right now, but I don't think he doesn't do anything. He's not a jungle pick that just is a power drain. He can be relatively useful. He does have some really good ganks with that parallel convergence. Combo that with the the Morgana or the Maokai, and you can get some really strong ganks off of. However, if you're sending him into Hecarim or worst case Olaf, he is going to be eaten alive, chewed up, spit out, and eaten again.
For sure, and I think that's, to be honest, Glaive has just put so much effort in this draft to getting a strong jungler. To fall with Echo is kind of like, I mean, okay, I guess you're going to try and win without objectives, but that hasn't worked out for you these last two games where Glaive picked up. I actually don't think they got the Dragon Soul in game 2. They ended the game before they got it, but I mean, that's like objectively worse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the draft. I think this is the worst draft yet. This is Aurelia mid, right?
Presumably. The other option is Echo mid, Aurelia jungle. Well, hold up. Thinking emoji. Maokai jungle?
Morgana jungle? I don't. We're about to find out when we get the actual champ select here in just a little bit, but oh man, I need something to be flexed, folks. I was gonna say, to be fair,
we don't truly know the jungler for either team. Like you said, it could be Echo, Aurelia, Maokai, Morgana for Revenge Nation, but it could be Olaf, Hecarim, or Diana for Glaive as well. So now that we're in the actual client draft, we're gonna get some answers. These teams may draw it out though to make us lose our hair quite a bit longer because it's tough to really pick apart these two drafts without truly knowing where everybody's going.
Yeah, that's a great point there, but I don't think words can describe how tilted I would be if Glaive put Diana jungle on this team.
It's so good. It really is so good. You get the Hecarim mid from the Gravity days. You get the Olaf top from like season 1, and then you get Diana screaming out of the jungle, just blowing up Echo jungle and taking every objective. She clears super quick too. She does not have a slow clear by any means. And so I play it not in ranked, but I do play it. And it's fun. It's enjoyable, especially now that they swapped her E and her R. It makes it much more satisfying. And it's the Hecarim top, Maokai top. So we're in a bit of spot of normalcy for a minute.
We certainly are. The Hecarim top, I don't know. Would you put Hecarim top or roll-off top? I think maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's probably fine.
Especially with the tank matchup, because also, if you think about it, I feel like Hecarim is more resource intensive than Olaf, requiring the Trinity Force into whatever. Whereas Olaf can probably just get away with like Warrior Enchant for the entire game and just do amazing things.
Pretty much, yeah. And the thing to keep in mind with Olaf too is that he has true damage, but true damage is only really good if you can like proc it often. And with Maokai just having a massive health bar, it's not going to help him that much, right? I mean, it would definitely help, but I don't know if lane Olaf being the best in the Maokai. I feel like that'd be a losing matchup for him. I would have been interested to see that. We won't though, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. Olaf in the jungle of this game firmly. I believe everybody else is pretty much spoken for. We had 2 bot lanes, 2 supports going, so the rest of that is all very boring. I was holding out hope for Morgana jungle. I think that would have been fun, but I've only seen it a couple times, so I did not like it when I saw it, but it was funny.
I've definitely lost to Morgana jungle before. It's definitely one of those picks that just catch you completely off guard when you do see it for the first time. But I think overall the bottom half of the map much more stable, very expected picks: Aurelia into Diana, Ashmorg into Jhin Bard. That's a normal draft from there. We don't got to look at the top half. We don't need to know our junglers. We don't need our top laners. Everything else is normal. Just focus on that for a minute. Or don't. It seems that we may have lost the Axeman, or I lost myself. Either or, I am going to continue talking. And I do want to bring it down to the bottom lane. Ash Morgana versus
Now we're
Jhin
back.
Bard.
Okay. Sorry, yeah, go for it. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so Ash Morgana, Jhin Bard, pretty solid lane. It has been seen a couple times. Jhin Bard, crazy strong. Lots of kill potential between the Deadly Flourish and the Cosmic Binding. The Bard, the gum there is very difficult to dodge in a lot of situations. The Black Shield, not nearly on as short as a cooldown. So it is a lot harder to manage it than we've seen the last time we saw the Morgana when it was picked into the Lulu. This time you do need to be very quick on the trigger there, and then post 6 it's nearly impossible because the not Cosmic Binding, what is the Bard ultimate?
Tempered Fate.
There we go. Tempered Fate could really be problematic. Bard has been very quick on the rise through the support ranks because of the pick potential he can bring, and just all of the things you can do with the Tempered Fate: shutting down turrets, shutting down Baron plays, shutting down dragon takes, capturing 4 members in gold and then stunning up 2 of them as soon as it ends. It's really it's a really high playmaking potential for the Bard, and even when you mess it up, it's not necessarily that bad because you still probably get something out of it.
Couldn't agree more here. We're about halfway through the spectator delay, and then we'll get into the actual game. But yeah, bot lane's pretty interesting. Something I like a lot with Jhin is Swain, but once again, we're not going to talk too much about champions that aren't in the game. Bard is pretty good. I believe he got nerfed a little bit. I think you might have said that when I DC'd, but I think it was a couple patches ago. Maybe I'm making things up, but I'm pretty sure he did. Used to be super strong, just in like 10, even 15, I think, but still pretty good here. And I do like it into Ash Morgana. What I like most about this is that there's a little bit more CC. So far, we've seen things like Morgana, which has, obviously the Dark Binding onto it, but paired with things like the Ezreal or something like Blitzcrank and the Ezreal. And it's just not like a ton of CC or like really competent CC. So I do like this change a little bit more. I like stacking CC between the AD carry and also the support a little bit more. And we're seeing that on both sides this time. Whereas before we only ever saw it really on Revenge Nation, I think. Yeah, it's only ever really just been Revenge Nation playing the Ashe, playing the Taric as well in game 2 here. Then in game 1, picking up the Morgana too. So yeah, this should be an interesting bot lane.
Yeah, and as the mid game comes around, Jhin on one item versus Ashe on one item, we're probably going to get the Stormrazor versus the Essence Reaver, on each side. The Jin's pretty scary, and because of how far away he can start/end a fight, Ashe's short range could become a pretty huge liability in regards to that. As the game continues on, Jhin will start to struggle to take out the tank. Maokai, only having 4 shots, even if each of your shots hits for 1,000 pre-mitigated, the Maokai is going to have a ton of armor because there's only 2 magic dealers in the Diana and the Bard. So Maokai is going to have a ton of armor available for him. He might be a little bit far behind because the Hecarim is just going to be so oppressive, especially with Teleport Ignite. That is incredibly dangerous as a lane.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts. So normally we're seeing Hecarim with things like Flash Ghost, Teleport Ghost, and Ghost is super good on Hecarim because you can press it and it's like push button, get AD type deal. He's not really going to have kill pressure on this Maokai. So instead he's going for Teleport to get him across the map, Ignite to give him, healing reduction on Maokai and lane for starters, but also a little bit more kill pressure when he does teleport out of the lane, when he does run it down the river to try and get the gank down to a Risen. So yeah, this is very dangerous, both in the lane, but also in terms of forcing those advantages you get in lane onto other lanes, which is such an important part of top lane. It's the reason you always take teleport, and Hecarim's going to be doing it way better than most top laners will.
So now on the Rift, we're going to see our 5-point start this time. No tricky late invades. Oh, I didn't know the Morgana skin had the Doctor Strange circles on her home guard animation. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I'm not even sure what skin that is. It definitely has a chroma or something.
It's Coven or Coven. How do you say
Coven? Yeah, I think it might be Coven. You're right.
Coven.
But that is
It's
that
like
is
Reed
definitely
Red,
a chroma.
right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Man,
But
I hate the English language sometimes. It's just
oh
how do you
yeah,
keep
no,
track?
it's terrible. It's terrible. But
Ah,
yeah, going down, I don't see anything else too out of the ordinary. Morgana has exhaust, which is a little interesting, but you have a lot of things coming at your AD carry in the Hecarim and the Diana, so exhaust probably okay here. We don't see too many exhausts anymore, but like I said, it's probably fine. Kakari has ignite. That's pretty interesting.
yeah, I do like that. Glaive have kept at least one teleport each game. Last time they had the Ignite Lucian, whereas the mid laner had teleport. This time they are saying, hey, Kakari, you played team duty last time. I'll let you have fun this time. Take the Ignite, win your lane, become a split push, monster that Diana can be. We'll let you have some fun this time.
And it will be pretty fun here for the Diana, especially in this Aurelia matchup, which I believe Diana wins. I don't see these two champions go up against each other very often, but I like Diana, so it seems they're winning the matchup already.
It's
And level
another
2.
one of those. It's another one of those high burst matchups where if the Aurelia can survive the initial burst coming out of Aurelia, there is the opportunity for her to trade back and win the more sustained fight. The unfortunate part is Diana right now just does one of the highest amounts of damage in the entire game. It is absolutely absurd how much damage she can do in a single rotation post 6. And once she starts getting a couple items, and she's not without sustained damage either because of the way her passive works. She can really stay alive with the best of them. And as we can see on our mini map here, Hecarim completely forced Itaconic out of his jungle and is giving the blue buff over to Demon.
Not a good start on the Echo jungle, but we may have anticipated this already, Doctor. And they're actually giving this blue buff over to Kakari, it seems. Nope, I guess not. I guess Kakari's going to leash it for him. It's a little strange.
I definitely would have liked to see them give it to Kakari if possible. I understand, though, that because of how early Olaf spikes and how he falls off come late game, you may just want to hard spike that because the Diana is more of a late game carry type. It makes sense. I can see it. Plus, junglers, they do need a little bit of love sometimes. They do need to sometimes be the ones getting all the buffs.
It's definitely going to put the Olaf far and ahead of this Echo. Maybe a fight in the bot lane, as he say a little out of position here. Keep it right behind him. Itaconic on the gank. And Issei already taking tons of damage from Obongo. Itaconic dashing right in on Issei, who's going to go down to the damage from the Echo. And Dark Binding and White on Kiba is going to mean he gets out of this gank just fine. Couple autos to Itaconic on the back end, and the gank concludes there, and Issei going down.
Yeah, the Dark Harvest Echo coming in, getting a big burst of damage, able to follow that up with how sticky a champion he can be with that phase rush and his passive. They are able to take down the Bard even after the flash, so that does remove a lot of playmaking potential from that champion. No longer going to be able to have that flash cosmic binding that can be so deadly into the Ashe, and it does set the Echo a little back on par. He's a little bit down on farm now, did get 3 buffed, so he's feeling a little weakened and a little hurt right now, but he gets 400 gold influx and is feeling a little bit better. It's like getting the flu shot after you get the flu.
Yeah, not exactly cured or anything, but you're doing a little better there. Gonna be Dragon in just a second here, spawning. Demon on this side of the map. Echo at base. Could be Dragon going over to Glaive. Kari's in on Arisen. Yeah, that's so much damage. Oh, actually stunned to Kakari as Arisen goes all in. You don't play any damage of their own. Huh.
I want to see Arisen pick up a Wit's End first item. It does delay that Trinity Force spike, but it helps so much in the head-to-head matchup as long as Demon doesn't get involved.
Oh, yeah, Demon on the gank. Hits the E immediately. Axe follows up. Tons of burst damage, but turret is hitting Glaive. They are going to get the kill here under Arisen. And, Kakari just barely survives. A solid gank there from Demon.
Yeah, they do get the kill onto the mid laner as well. It makes it very hard for Arisen to now survive the lane. We are going to see the Catalyst onto Kakari going for that Roa build, potentially picking up the Nashor's Tooth second, maybe even going the Zona's Hourglass second to survive any potential double gank in from the top jungle duo. But we do see double long swords from Arisen. Leads me to believe...
Ooh. Demon picks up the Dragon. Arisen finds him out, though. Dark Binding going to seal the deal on that one. Arisen picks up the solo kill. Well, solo kill, I say, in quotes, onto Demon there. And, they pay dearly for the Dragon, but they pick it up nonetheless.
Yeah, one Earth Dragon, not the end of the world. Just a couple resistances being added in at the grand scheme of things. And you do get a kill back onto your mid laner, who was not feeling so hot. Being able to now potentially pick up the Cutlass on the next back, which seems to be the call here.
Oh, Zeko. Oh, it's just such good stuff, man. Just really, really good. Dibble's dead, man. This is it. No, Nature's Grass. You got to do it. Come on. Anyway, Bongo in onto Kiba. Dealing some damage, but now Bongo's rooted up. Demon and Issei here in the portal, but just not enough. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, that was a good charge out.
The trade ults.
That should have been a kill, though. You are right. But it removes such a key tool from the Hecarim in the lane. This is just a zoning ultimate coming out from Kiba. Just wants to go back. Actually, probably doesn't want to go back. Why did he? Maybe a misclick? He's got 700 gold. Dragon's not for 3.5 minutes. Are you alive, Zeko? You are.
He's out. He does get away with murder there on the dive onto the Hecarim. Man, Maokai, difficult to dive, but even more difficult to dive into enemy turrets there. But does get the kill on the Hecarim. Dibble's coming back, though. The salty teleport. Just take the minions here with that movement speed.
So that kind of works out on a double-edged sword for Revenge Nation. They get the kill onto Zeko, finally finding a matchup that they can do effective stuff in. Now on the front foot instead of trailing behind. And they also get a solo plate onto Itatonic, which is just more solo gold onto the Echo that was put a little bit behind in the beginning.
Definitely helps them out for sure, but it's kind of just... I guess trying to put a band-aid on the wound here. This is more about Zeko getting a reset timer without having to give up too many minions. He gets the solo kill, obviously. Ooh, here we go. The mid laner isn't taking tons of damage this time from the Bard and also from Diana, but man, that Bard does pretty crazy damage. Kakari eats a Dark Binding. It's not going to matter, though. Iconic cannot follow up on that one. Now Glaive pushing in this turret to get the plate. They're going to get away with their lives as well. a 1-for-0 trade.
Yeah, the Echo not able to do. Oh, wait. All right, I'm colorblind. I honestly thought that may have been a Cinderhulk Echo, and I was like, did we teleport back to season 5? But no, it is indeed the Runic
Tank
Echoes, and I
Echo.
was like, whew, okay. But even with that, just not a ton of
He's
damage
down
coming
to
out. just yet.
Obongo. Obongo gets rooted up here. Gets stunned by Issei as well. The curtain calls out. There's nowhere to go. Oh, but Kiva's missing. One more shot. Oh, he hits it. That fourth shot killing Obongo. As the Rift Herald goes down to Revenge Nation. More fighting the top side. Nature's Grass coming out. Only going to hit Kakari. Kakari goes down for the sins. Demon escapes. Dibble clearing minions in the top side for whatever reason. I mean, you got to keep up the CS, right?
Yeah, gotta get on back to 10 a minute, but you cannot give up the eye to an opposing Echo. The burst there between the phase drive into the eyeball hit into the smite, securing the Herald for Revenge Nation. They're guaranteed 300 gold onto the jungler pretty much, as long as they don't just throw the Heralds into the void. So again, things are slowly coming back for Revenge Nation right now. They had a bit of a rocky early game, but they're making some right calls. They're making some good plays, and it really also comes down to them having a winning topside. CS wise, it's not looking so hot, but he is winning. He's got a kill. He's got a solo kill. He's got an assist. Like, these things matter, even if it's not gold wise, mentally, you need these little W's to be able to build yourself up so that you can fight around these dragons, so you can fight around these heralds. Itaconic feeling bold enough to try and go for that herald steal because he knows his top laner actually has the ability to get his back.
That map pressure is so important. Kakari with ult onto Arisen is going to dash out. But ult's back in for the 2v1. I don't know about all this. Yeah, that was a strange ult. I mean, I guess I thought it would do more damage, but upon seeing that it did not, oh, this is going to get interrupted. Dibble actually in trouble here. No, Zekka's out of mana. Yeah, he, can't do anything about this. He can interrupt his back, though. Oh, this is troll. He might even die for this. Yeah, I think he might. Yikes. Well, he is wasting a lot of the Hecarim's time, if nothing else. But yeah, second dragon's up. Both sides looking for it. Demon is the inside track. Itaconic is... I'm actually not sure where Itaconic is. Oh yeah, he's just behind the pit there. So both jungles was fairly close. I think Glaive probably just had more map pressure with the Olaf pick, but... Ooh, yikes.
So we do get the first back from Dibble. No teleport available. Does need to run to the dragon fight if they want to get involved. But late backing from Zekko.
Ooh. Dragon does go down to Glaive here with the smite from Demon. It's well played. Both sides going to disengage. Dragon's gone. No reason to fight.
Yeah. Once again, that true damage aspect of the Olaf that you were talking about can make estimating a steal percentage a little difficult. The XP advantage didn't come into play there. They're both level 8. Kiva hurts.
Yeah, Kiva really does hurt. Big trades down the bot side. But, yeah, I would say Kiva hurts definitely more so than Obongo does, if that 1v1 has anything to go by.
And speaking of sending the Herald into the void, there's only about 20 seconds maybe left on that before it does need to get used or loosed. And we do see Itaconic on the Krug's camp there. So not going to get the most effective use out of it. But overall, denying it from your opponent is still a win at the end of the day, even if it's not the most optimal usage. Oh, yeah, she gets it off in the mid lane. Okay.
Yeah, drops it here. Arisen getting it forced off. Yeah, even flashing actually away from Kakari and Demon. But now it's Demon and Kakari in the back foot. Demon flashing, going to go down anyway. Kakari now on the ropes. But Revenge Nation taking tower shots, and Issei's here. Temporary fate onto 2 members. Teleport in the back as well for Revenge Nation. Itaconic looking to get the kill on a Kakari. Arisen finally going to take that Kakari. The arrow from downtown. And Zekko's going to get the kill onto Issei. Revenge Nation coming out huge here in the mid lane. What an arrow, Doctor. That was crazy.
All the way from downtown, gonna connect right onto the enemy support, and Iconic coming up with the massive play once again, popping that chrono break right as the invulnerability ends, doesn't give the second stun portion. So instead of getting a 2-man stun, we only get a 1-person slow onto Arisen, and so the fight is able to come back with a live fashion. The teleport from Zeko coming in at the end, but the fight was so good in favor of Revenge Nation. They're able to get the mid lane first brick. They're able to get kills onto their carries. The Iconic Echo is doing surprisingly well after getting triple buffed. It's not often you see a jungle matchup like this that can be so one-sided get completely turned on its head by small plays. Typically, you need to go all or nothing in a situation like this, and Iconic just chipping away at the team.
Yeah, Zeko falling prey to the classic blunder there, thinking that you have the kill pressure in the enemy jungle when there's an Olaf jungle, and maybe he didn't fall victim to anything. Demon gonna miss the final axe, and Zeko escapes. How did he do that? That was crazy.
Yeah,
What?
I think all right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not solely sure how he survives that.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Oh wait, I figured it out. It's Cinder Hulk Olaf.
Ooh, yikes! Not my Olaf.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Reckoning. Ooh, the arrow here on the Kiba. We'll see if Obongo's damage flashes the Tempered Fate. Reckoning goes gold, and the Kiba's down. All of a sudden, it's Issei looking for Reckoning, and he's not going to be able to find it as Obongo. The final Dark Binding, adding insult to injury. Reckoning saying, there's nowhere, no time I can't hit you with this every single time. Obongo picks up the double kill here, and they're going to get the majority of this turret, if not the whole thing. Fantastic play from Revenge Nation.
Yeah, where was this Revenge Nation all night? They are playing lights out and completely different from the previous 2 games tonight. I don't know if it's just they're on different picks, if things are clicking all of a sudden. Maybe they were having like comm issues earlier. Like everything is coming up their way, and it's not just due to Glaive Esports mistakes. The team is actually coming together and making proactive plays, coming up in proactive situations to make sure that they are right on time, able to support each other. And a big portion of this is Iconic. He did get, I know I keep harping on it, but he was so put out of the game at level 2, because of Dibble being able to run in there, use the threat of the Ignite Hecarim to secure the triple buff. And Iconic there just is like, wait, nope, we're still good, guys. Big smile on the face. We're going to carry this game, even if we need to do it one at a time.
Great points to be sure. Revenge Nation looking much better tonight. This would be Soul Point if Glaive can pick it up. Traditionally, the rest of the series, we've seen them win through the Dragons, or at least in part through the Dragons anyway in Game 2. It's a Cloud Soul this go around, which is especially exciting if you're Dibble, if you're Demon. These are just great Cloud Soul champions. I'd love to have that movement speed. Dark Binding in here onto Issei. And rooted up. The Bard taking lots of damage here, but now it's Iconic out of position. Curtain Call drops. Arisen on 1, nothing on 2. Arisen again on 3. And here's 4, nothing on 4. And Revenge Nation dodges that entire ultimate. They immediately come back in, see if they can contest this dragon. And they have a lot of vision to wade through here, Doctor, before they get their teleport channel from the red side. It's Dibble coming in. And now Glaive rushing down this dragon as fast as they can. Both sides vying for position. Another Dark Binding onto Issei. And he steals it! Oh, it immediately ults out too. Iconic says, remember when I stole that on Trundle and I didn't get out? Yeah, that's why I picked Echo. So I can steal it and get out this time. But wow, what a great steal there, preventing the Soul Point.
Maokai just chilling in top side, didn't have teleport advantage, so wasn't able to join the fight, and just gets the tower because of it. So they get the Drake steal, they get their first of the game, they get second brick. They now have a roughly 3 4K gold lead. And Revenge Nation's looking in a pretty good spot. They're scaling up on the Maokai, has the Sunfire Cape. Blade of the Ruined King completed onto Aurelia. Almost has the Runeane Hurricane onto a Bongo, which, as we said last game, was pretty important item to be missing. Things are really coming together right now.
Revenge Nation making a lot of good plays, but none really better than the steals they're getting from Iconic so far this series. They're pretty crazy, but yeah. I think if you're on Glaive, you're probably pinging Demon Smite right now and saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" But,
hey, buddy.
Hey,
come on. You good?
Yeah, against all odds, Kikari is out farming in Aurelia. Don't see that too often. The top side, yeah, 203 Zeko on this Maokai, man. Maybe he's golden TFT or something. No, I'm reading the wrong op.gg. I don't know.
Is Maokai still in TFT? I haven't kept up with the latest set.
Well, I don't think so, but I don't play a lot of TFT either, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows? Yeah, let's talk about Shutdown Gold. Flash Shutdown Gold on Revenge Nation at the moment. Pretty much every single member, except for Reckoning. But, you know, if you're blowing a bunch of resources to get a support kill, what are you doing? Dark Binding. Just, I don't know if there's something about Issei that just attracts the Dark Binding. Enchanted Arrow here on Akiba. But Tempered Fate is going to keep them alive for just a little bit more root.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, oh, no is correct. Issei goes down immediately as well. Demon proccing Ragnarok, trying to get out of there, flashing away. But, yeah, he is out eventually, unstoppable on the Olaf. But, yeah, Issei just eats Dark Binding. Like, I don't know what it is, but just every single time. Enchanted Crystal Arrows on Akiba, too. It's been insane.
Yeah, that was actually the interesting interaction from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that was brought up over the weekend on LCS, is that the hitbox for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is actually in the back. It's in the feathers, not the point. And so the lollipop can be a little bit different from what you're expecting. And I honestly thought for a second that the arrow was going to go wide and that Kiba was going to be able to get away scot-free. And the attempt from Issei to keep his AD carry alive was unfortunately in vain due to the Nature's Grasp connecting right as the invulnerability ended. And that was actually a big deal because it then left the Twisted Advance to be available to go over the wall onto Issei themselves and be able to secure the kill there as well.
For sure. Once again, Zeko playing these fights just so well. It's kind of crazy seeing this happen. You know, this Maokai being used so effectively, where we've seen him use Poppy, use the Ornn. It was kind of lackluster. All of a sudden, I guess Malco is the silver bullet he needed or something. But yeah, just having an absurd performance right now. And I think it's Dibble baiting him with the backs, to be honest. I think that's what's driving Zeko at the moment. Is just chaining those back resets together to victory. But you know, maybe there's something there, maybe there isn't. Dragon up in a little over a minute. Another Cloud Dragon here. The ultimate CDR is starting to ramp up for both sides.
Hey, it's all we got left. So we got nothing else but Clouds until Elder.
Yeah, that old CDR feels pretty good on a lot of these champions. I know if you're a Bongo, yeah, it feels pretty good on most champions, but you know, I know if you're a Bongo, you're probably thinking more Enchanted Crystal Arrows? Okay, cool. We can work with that, but I already got the essence here. I think he might have 40%. Let me double check that. 20% actually, just the essence here we have CDR on. So,
yeah.
But yeah, those Cloud Dragons definitely helping them out, and that's in just about 30 seconds playing the Vision game. See what happens.
Yeah, the Ashe right now also has the ability to, as we see it come out right now,
the rare Dark Binding dodge from Issei. But Undertow coming out Demon, just hitting Reckoning on cooldown. It's going to force off Revenge Nation for the time being. Like, Iconic stealing these dragons is basically the game plan right now, I think. They are going to have Zeko on the fight, so maybe we see a 5v5. And I don't know if we've seen that yet, so this should be interesting.
We saw the 5v4 on the last Dragon Steal. Yeah. Teleport in from Arisen means this is a true 5v5. Dragons getting close to half HP.
Yeah, it's Kikari in with the ultimate, and yeah, Bungo goes straight down. Reckoning taking down as well. Kakari doing so much damage here with the double kill. Adekong should be going down to double with ults away. Kiba is in with the autos. This Jin is huge. Arisen is going to take down Jin, though. And now, all of a sudden, Revenge Nation look to be doing pretty well in this fight. Issei with Tempered Fate stuns up the enemy team on the back end. Kakari with the kill on Arisen. Now it's just Zeko. Can he do it? It's 1v2. He takes down one. He's got one left. It's Kakari and Zeko. Who will win? Suddenly the fight slows way down, Doctor, and both sides going to just walk away from that one saying, you know what? I'm not big on pasta. I'm not big on this noodle fight. We're just going to stop doing all this. But Dragon left up. Nobody takes it after that fight.
Dragon pretty much the only survivor there. Dragon wiping some sweat off its brow like, oh man, I did not expect to come out of that one ahead. But really strong engage there coming out from Glaive. They've recognized that a Bongo has to die. You have to kill the Ashe because she's pretty far ahead. She has that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's actually still off cooldown. Wasn't able to give it in the last fight. And that's the problem heading into these tunnels. Kakari was able to get an amazing two-man engage there, brings in two members with the ultimate, locks him down, does a billion damage, and at that point, Hecarim says, wait, I don't have to be good. I don't have to be fed and ahead. I just need to press R, and I'm going to secure a kill.
Revenge Nation looking for the Dragon. Demon walks up, steals it, and this time it's Revenge Nation who gets stolen on Reckoning. Going down very fast, Abong goes down as well. And Revenge Nation looking for the end of the fight here. Arisen going down, they're getting wiped. Kiba getting very low, taken down, and now it's the charge in from Dibble. It's just Zeko, this time 4v1, and the fight is slow, but it's almost assuredly a win for Glaive. They get the ace, finally, and now it's Glaive off to the races. With the Dragon in tow at Soul Point, they're looking for Baron. They're looking for mid lane turrets here, Doctor.
Nah, they just want the Baron. The big purple worm still alive. They got 4 members, no smite fight. Demon's feeling pretty good about this one. He's like, it's off cooldown. I don't know who I can lose this smite fight to right now. But these team fights are getting so hard carried by Kakari right now. Able to land multiple multi-man ults in a row, 2 team fights in a row, probably going to be heading towards a third as soon as this next fight starts. And look at this, Kakari's losing 0 HP, absolutely none to this Baron. They're going to just portal away for extra safety, no need to risk it even a little bit for the biscuit. And Kakari, 6-2-3, 3 items completed. It's a horror show watching them dive onto a Bongo. No flash available, no heal available, no magic resistance. It's incredible how much damage Kakari is doing right now.
For sure. Diana, one of those few champions that can solo up Baron fairly easily and fairly early in the game with the shields. You don't take damage if you always have your shield up, and later into the game, Diana does. So it's a pretty solid build at the moment. The Nash's too, the Roa, the Zanyas. I don't know if you played a lot of Diana, but my favorite Diana build is Ardent Sensor. And if you didn't play Ardent Sensor Diana at the start of the season, you missed out. That was a fun glitch. That was a lot of that was good stuff.
I do remember it. I wasn't. I did not play it.
Oh, it was fun.
But
we had good times.
I do know of it, and I do know exactly why it no longer exists, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, 40% CDR, just going to keep going up with these Cloud Drakes. The opportunity to control a team fight as Diana is very high. Very low risk, very high reward. And it is a really strong champion into a very immobile composition like this. And we are going to be seeing the Death's Dance coming out from Arisen. I almost kind of want to see a Locket come out from Zeko. He's been involved in a lot of team fights, which is amazing, really helping the team stay in this. That extra shield potentially from the Locket could come very handy as you see the Diana diving onto your backside.
For sure. I mean, it's just so much burst damage that really is the issue. You take a look at these fights. Abongo's dying right at the start of them, which is the worst. They might happen again, yeah. Oh, here's Arisen's ult. Actually, they really caught out Glaive this time around. Issei goes down. Kakari immediately as well. Now they're chasing Kiba and Glaive. Arisen taking low, actually going to get bursted by the Jin. Hecarim's in the back line, though. Curtain call is called. Here's a second shot, and it's the ace here. I really thought Revenge Nation might have that one, but it's not the ace. I can't count. Zeko's here. 1v3. Let's see if he can do it.
Man, that was actually quite painful to watch. I really feel for Revenge Nation on that one. They had the team fight. They took advantage of the overzealousness of Glaive to get something done.
Maokai doing so much damage here. And they're having a hard time bursting down this Maokai, but it's just 3v1. At the end of the day, you can't heal that. This might be Glaive ending the game. I think the next champion off cooldown is the Morgana in 2 seconds. I don't know if she can defend, but Glaive don't seem too keen on autoing the Nexus, and it's going to be close, everybody. Jin goes down immediately. No! Finish it!
Oh, no.
With 50 health, Glaive Demon finishes off the Nexus, and oh, man, it's hard not to be disappointed by that one. I think you would be the biggest Glaive fan out there and be like, yikes.
Yeah, that
feels pretty bad.
That's definitely a tough scenario to find yourself in. You find yourself taking advantage of a blunder by the enemy team. You get 2 members and you're chasing down the last 2. And I think there was a bit of a split call there. I think some members from Revenge Nation wanted to chase and some wanted to just take the small victory, take the removal of Baron from 2 members. Just do with that what you will. Just hold the push. And Hecarim came in and said, I don't care what you think. We're fighting. It just dove straight in, landed the Onslaught of Shadows into all 3 members. You can see how long that fear lasted onto Obongo, who just didn't have the opportunity to escape it at that point. And the 1v3, it was actually really close. Zeko almost was able to hold his own there and almost hold the game. And just the 4th shot from Jin coming onto those towers after Zeko goes down just obliterated the health bars. They only had like 1.5 minions there for basically the entirety of those 2 towers. And it's just unfortunate because Zeko gave it his all that game, finally had the winning matchup, finally had the opportunity to play League of Legends. And just, the one Baron play, the one bad dragon fight, the one unfortunate inhibitor defense, and Glaive capitalized on it just so hard.
Zeko really was the hero for Revenge Nation tonight, holding it down in game 1, holding it down in game 2, and then coming out in game 3. He had most damage on his team by considerable margins compared to the rest of his carries. He also missed out on most damage in the game by like 300. It was only 300 more damage this Diana had. So, not very close. But, Zeko just had a crazy Maokai game. Obviously, the silver bullet they really needed to have a huge effect in the top lane. We saw them just play after play, making such good plays. And so, very well played there. I wasn't sold on the Aurelia. It never seemed like it had a solid effect. And I'm having a harder time with it, especially because I know how well Arisen plays Azir, how well Arisen plays Rise, all that good stuff. So the Aurelia pick is a little strange here, but didn't necessarily do terrible or anything. I don't think it's why they lost, but probably an area for improvement. And these 2 teams, honestly, pretty close. Obviously, Glaive has an edge on them, but there wasn't really a game so far when I was like, Glaive is just the better team. That's just how it goes. Like, it definitely seemed like Revenge Nation had a shot back into all these games. So a close series, to be sure. Glaive wins all 3 games, but some pretty close ones in there. Some pretty close battles, to be sure. And I think noticed 3 of the Glaives had Conquer. Which is funny.
I think the Aurelia thing is she was just overshadowed by the Diana. Between the absolute burst damage and the team fight changing potential of the Diana, is much more immediate than Aurelia. So just the matchup there outshines the Aurelia. I definitely think Arisen played very well, did a really good job on the Aurelia, had opportunities to do things, had a ton of multi-man stuns as well on the E, and just, there was potential. I think just Diana does that much more, that much quicker, and so the watching of the game is pretty skewed. And you're right, the 3-0 scoreline doesn't necessarily show how close these games were at many points. And while Glaive do come out ahead, I think that if they were to meet in the future, there is definitely the potential for Revenge Nation to come out ahead.
For sure. I really like the draft tool with the Olaf and Hecarim. That was funny from Glaive. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to wrap up the broadcast here tonight. As we wrap up tonight's broadcast, we just have a couple quick thank yous to pass around. First off, we want to thank our incredible sponsor, Veda, our patrons, Zach, Max, Allison, and Ricky, our Twitch subs, and all our other regular supporters. We absolutely can't bring this level of quality to our events and broadcasts without your support. We also want to send a huge thank you to you, the viewers, for choosing to be your entertainment today. And be sure to tune in next time. And I think we're on Thursday. Yeah, for the Excellency, the Heavy League quarterfinals. So anyway, as always, stay excellent. We'll see you next time. Max 87, he's a doctor. Have a good one.
Can make